everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with my good friend Miguda. Miguda, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm great.
Eh,
How about you?
Mimi niko salama. Niko tu na furaha mingi sana kwa sababu jana vijana walifanya mambo mzuri, wakashinda mchuano wao ya jana, na ni kama wanaongoza katika hilo kundi kama sijakosea.
Hiyo ni kweli, ni jambo la furaha sana kwa wale marafiki zetu au mandugu zetu wa Harambee Stars. Walishinda nchi ya Morocco na kuebuka washindi katika kundi lao, na sasa tumebaki na mechi moja kati ya Harambee Stars na Zambia itakapofanyika Jumapili ujao, na tunatumaini ya kwamba pia tutashinda hiyo mechi ili tuelekee katika quarter finals, inaitwa robo finali, ili tuone kama hii kikombe ya CHAN inaweza baki hapa Kenya, juu sisi ni wale ambao tumehost, na ni vizuri ya kwamba ikibaki hapa isiende nje.
Kwani wa Nigeria pia wanacheza kwa hizi vikombe?
Ya, wanacheza. Sasa unapata kuna tofauti ya CHAN na African Cup of Nation. CHAN ni wale wachezaji ambao hawachezi katika ligi za kigeni, wale wanaocheza ligi za hapa nchini na vile vile nchi zao. Kwa mfano, unapata yule mchezaji mwenye anacheza katika Simba ama Yanga ametoka Kenya, afai kucheza katika CHAN, lakini hata wale wanacheza huko Uingereza ama mbali, hii ni ligi ya wale wachezaji wa nchini. Kwa mfano, hata wale wa Nigeria wanaocheza hizo ligi za Uingereza ama ligi za kigeni hawaruhusi kucheza, lakini wale wanaocheza ligi za local leagues wao ndio wameruhusiwa kucheza CHAN. So unapata kwa tofauti, lakini kuna karibu nchi 19 ambao wanacheza CHAN, na saa moja ya hizo nchi unapata kuna Nigeria, kuna Zambia, kuna DR Congo, kuna Kenya, kuna Morocco, lakini wale ambao wamehost hizo mechi unapata kuna Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania na Zambia. Sasa zinacheza katika nchi tofauti, lakini tulisema tukifika robo finale kama Kenya, semifinals na finale zitachezwa hapa Kenya katika uwanja wa Kasarani.
Hiyo ni na unajua pia kuna ile hadi rais alitoa, na leo niliona alikutana na wachezaji, akasema hiyo pesa yao atawapatia, lakini tena ametoa hadi ukijumuisha kwa sababu alikuwa anatoa milioni 2.5, na inamaanisha kwa jumla ukiunganisha ni kwamba kitu kama itakuwa milioni 600 ambapo itatoka kwa rais, na hii sasa unajua ni pesa yake, haijatoka kwa serikali.
Rais ni moja ya wale wanao pesa hapa nchini, ni moja ya wale wako na pesa nyingi, na kando na pesa nyingi wako nazo, wanaweza fanya pesa zao, wanaweza fanyia biashara, wanaweza fanyia siasa pia, wanaweza amua kusaidia wachezaji. Lakini kama ni pesa yake ni sawa, hata kama ni pesa yetu ni sawa, juu unapata katika ligi za kigeni wachezaji wanalipwa pesa nzuri sana. Unapata kama wase wanacheza katika wiki wanapatiwa hata milioni 10. Sasa mimi sijaona tatizo lote kama wachezaji wetu katika wiki moja wako na milioni 2.5. Sasa ingawa hii wiki watapumzika na mechi iko Jumapili, wakipatiwa milioni 2.5 ni sawa. Juu unajua sisi katika Afrika wachezaji wetu kuna vile wamekuwa neglected for a long time. Sasa unapata kama rais ameamua ya kwamba ako na wachezaji katika msimu wa CHAN, sisi tunashukuru, pia tunasema ni vizuri. Kama hakuna mtu yote angeingilia kati bila sasa wachezaji, ni vizuri. Sasa unajua hii ni moja ya kuonyesha kwamba talanta ya wachezaji lazima ituzwe, na vile vile kando na hayo, hapo awali ulipata watu walilalamika kwamba hizo pesa ni ushuru zetu zimetoka katika wizara wa spoti, na kwa hivyo sasa rais anafanya jambo isio bora. Mimi ningependa kusema kwamba kama rais ameamua kutoa pesa lake kwa mfuko yake kusaidia wachezaji ni sawa. Juu yeye rais pia huyu pesa yake zingine akienda katika siasa zake huwa anapatianga watu pesa, ama akienda katika mchango wa kanisa huwa anatoanga harambee kwa kanisa. Sasa kama unaona ili kutoa mchango kanisa apate wachezaji, sio tofauti, ni jambo nzuri sana juu kama wachezaji wetu wanaweza pata pesa, na kando na rais kuwapatia pesa pala, pia Wakenya kwa jumla wamejitokelezea kwa wengi sana. Hata ukiangalia vile uwanja unajaa, hiyo ni ishara ya kwamba Wakenya wako nyuma ya Harambee Stars na wanaunga mkono juu wanajaa uwanja kabisa. Sasa mimi ningependa tu, kando na siasa na mambo mengi, tushabikie timu yetu ya Harambee Stars ili waibuke washindi, na haswa hiyo siku ya Jumapili tuwashabikie ili tukue nambari moja katika kundi letu, ili tukienda katika robo finali tupate timu ambaye ilikuwa namba pili katika kundi lingine. Hiyo ndio jambo ningependa kusema, na pia ni jambo nzuri sana kama sisi watacheza nusu finali ama watacheza finali katika uwanja wetu wa Moi. Juu wakati wanacheza hizo nusu finali, robo finali ama finali katika uwanja wa Kasarani, sisi kama Wanakenya tunapata ushuru kutoka nchi za kigeni, juu watakuja nchini na mashabiki wao, na vile vile kuna vile tunapata ushuru. Sasa mimi ningependa kusema tu, lazima sisi kama Wakenya tuwashabikie wachezaji wetu, na vile vile pia rais akiamua kuwasaidia ni sana. Ukumbuka kando na rais pia kuna wale wametokeleza. Jubati pia alisema atawapatia milioni 1, hiyo mechi ya jana aliwapatia, na vile vile Sonka amesema rais akifika hiyo milioni hiyo, alisema akifika hiyo milioni 600 million. Sonko pia alisema atawapatia milioni 400. Sasa kwa jumla inaweza kuwa bilioni 1, na kando na bilioni 1 juu sasa imeongezeka. Awali ilikuwa ukishinda mechi ni milioni 1, na sasa amesema ukishinda ni milioni 2.5. Sasa ameongeza milioni 1.5. Sasa imaanisha kwamba itakuwa bilioni 1 na kitu. Ndio maana mimi nasema tunafaa kuwa washindi, ili hiyo pesa ya rais ya kuchezea tupate wachezaji wetu wapate hiyo pesa yake.
Okay, asante sana. Naona ndugu yetu hapa amekuwa kipotea sana, tujamuona kwa muda mrefu sana. Gibson Kona, habari gani? Natumai naamini kwamba uko vizuri. Kwa siku hivi majuzi tujakuona, na ni vizuri tumeona umekuja kutusalimia. Tuelezee uko pande gani? Asante sana. Na sasa unajua, hata ukiangalia nchi ya Tanzania hapa, wacha nione hapa Miguda, let the players not play because of money. Let it be for the love of football and for the country. Maoni hayo utasema. Nilikuwa naona mpaka pale nchini Tanzania nadhani ni naibu wa ni kama ule naibu wa nini, naibu wa wizara fulani, anaitwa Mwana FA. alikuwaga mwanamuziki kitambo, lakini saizi ameingilia siasa. Au pia wakati ndugu zetu wa Tanzania nchi jirani walimaliza kumaliza mechi na kupata wameshinda, pia walipeleka pale hela zenye kutoka kwa Rais Suluhu Hassan kuwapongeza. So inakaa ni jambo ambalo labda inafanya labda kuwamotisha labda, na pili pia kuonyesha labda rais anapenda. Lakini hebu tuangalie, kwa sababu kuna baadhi ya Wakenya ambao wako na maoni tofauti sana sana kulingana na kauli ambayo inatokea, kwa sababu kuna wanasema kutoa ni mzuri, hawajakataa kutoa, lakini wanaangalia nchi ambayo rais anaongoza, unapata kwamba inakuwa na matatizo ikilinganishwa na hali ya fedha. Unapata rais mwenyewe sasa unapata ako na ile hali ya kutoa pesa ambayo anatoa. Ukiangalia na hizo pesa, kuna watu wanasema kwa nini nchi naye isiwe inanoga sana, ama labda bado wako katika ile harakati ya kutengeneza miundombinu ya nchi kuwe na fedha kama hizo.
Kwanza ningependa kukaribisha rafiki yetu Gibson katika kipindi chetu, na ningependa kumkaribisha na pia kumpasha habari ya kwamba hatujamwona kwa siku chache, na vile vile pia hatujasikia kutoka kwake, lakini vizuri tumemwona amerejea na tumemkaribisha sana kwa hayo, lakini pia nimetuma salamu zangu kwake. Kwanza wacha nimjibu kabla nijibu swali lako. Amesema jambo mzuri sana, tena jambo muhimu kuhusu mambo na wachezaji, ya kwamba wachezaji wanafaa kuchezea nchi yao kwa upendo na vile vile wanachezea ili watuuze talanta zao. Nakubaliana naye 100%, ni vizuri. Sasa unapata swali ni sisi kama washabiki ama sisi kama wananchi, sisi tuko pale Kasarani na jambo muhimu tumeenda pale kushabikia timu letu, na pia sisi tunataka ushindi, lakini unapata wale wachezaji wetu wao wanachezea juu ya milioni, lakini sisi tunakuwa wengi katika kiwanja ili tupate ushindi kama nchi. Juu wakati tumepata ushindi tutapata sifa kama nchi, na pia tutakuwa katika mistari ya mbele mambo na michezo. Sasa ndio mbona unapata sisi kama wananchi tunatokelezea kwa wingi, tunanunua tiketi, tunanunua majazi, tunakaa katika uwanja wa Kasarani kwa wengi, na hata hiyo mechi ya Jumapili watu watakuwa wengi. Sasa sisi kama washabiki tuko sawa, lakini wachezaji wetu pia wanafaa kuelewa ya kwamba kando na milioni ama kando na hizo pesa za rais, wao pia wanafaa wacheze ili wapatie nchi yetu heshima na upendo wa nchi, na vile vile ili pia waboreshe talanta zao. Lakini unapata mimi naunga mkono mambo ya pesa, kwa sababu unapata kama wachezaji, kuna wale wachezaji katika ligi za kigeni, unapata wao wanapatiwa pesa katika kila wiki, wanaishi maisha mazuri, lakini wachezaji wetu maisha yao si mazuri sana. Sasa kama hii CHAN inaweza pata nafasi ili wapate pesa kama wale wenzao, hapo ningeunga rais mkono ya kwamba aongeze hizo pesa zake apatiane. Sasa kujibu swali lako, umesema sisi kama wana Kenya saizi tuko na shida hapa na pale. Nakubaliana na wewe, tuko na shida na uchumi, shida mbali. Sasa pia sisi tuko nasema kama rais anaweza toa hizo pesa zote apatie wachezaji, wale wanafunzi katika chuo kikuu watapata pesa zao za help lini? Swali kama hizo watu wanauliza. Mambo na SHA, mambo na elimu, mambo na barabara. Sasa kwa nini saizi rais amefocus kwa kitu kimoja, ya kwamba yeye kazi yake ni kutuza wachezaji, na wale hata wale wanafunzi wako katika chuo kikuu ni wa Kenya. Sasa wanapokosa karo, pia wa Kenya wanakosa karo. Sasa ningependa kusema tu hivi, kando na mambo na kusaidia wachezaji, pia unajua tunaelekea katika msimu wa siasa, na rais pia ni yule mwenye anataka kupigania apate hatamu ya pili. Sasa kama amepata kila kitu ambaye inaweza msaidia kufanya kampeni, atafanya. Hii anafanya kampeni. Unapata Wakenya wengi wanapenda mpira, na Wakenya wengi wanashabikia Harambee Stars. Wale wa 2 term na wale wa 1 term, Harambee Stars imetuleta pamoja sasa. Unapata wale wa 2 term na 1 term wote wanashabikia Harambee Stars washinde. Sasa kama anaweza kuja hapo ndani aonekane kwamba yeye ni suluhisho, amepatia wachezaji wetu motisha na wakaibuka washindi katika kikombe cha CHAN, hapo rais atachukua sifa, na hiyo ndio moja za tabia za wanasiasa, na rais ni mwanasiasa. Sasa hatuwezi sema ya kwamba hawezi kaa kama mwanasiasa. Sasa kando na mambo ya kusaidia vijana, pia mambo ya siasa iko ndani yake.
Okay, asante sana Miguda, na habari ambayo tunapata tena leo, hii ni jambo labda inaweza kuwa ni tiangaliwe kwa makini sana, kwa sababu kwa takriban siku kama haijazidi 10 tumeona ajali katika barabarani, na tunapata kwamba Wakenya wanapoteza maisha yao. Kumbuka ile ilifanyika pale Coptic roundabout jijini Kisumu, ambapo unapata kwamba familia kubwa yalipata kupoteza wengi wa familia yao. Tukapata ile ya Enacoach pia ikafanyika, na mingine mengi. Na leo saa hizi pia naambiwa habari tu dakika chache zilizopita inaonyesha kwamba kuna pia ajali imetokea Kisumu Busia Highway, na hii ni kwamba wanasema kwamba kuna wengi ya watu ambao walikuwa ndani ya basi ambao ilikuwa inaenda ni karibu na Lela in Kisumu County. Kuna labda wengi wamekuwa na majeraha, and ni jambo ambalo labda hatujui nini inafanyika Miguda, kwa sababu tumekuwa na majali mengi sana takriban siku 10 zilizopita. Ni jambo gani kinatokea ambayo inafaa tuiangalie kwa jicho la tatu? kama taifa?
Ni ukweli tunafaa kuangalia kwa jicho la tatu kama taifa, lakini kwanza ningependa kutuma rambirambi zangu kwa wale waliopoteza maisha yao katika ajali ya barabara, na unakumbuka ya kwamba wale waliopoteza maisha yao katika ajali ya kwanza ni wale watu karibu 25, na unakumbuka hao watu wanatoka katika kijiji kimoja, na wale wenzetu pia walipoteza maisha yao mwaka wa 2023 na wale walikuwa 21, na wote walitumia basi za shule, na hizo shule zinakaribiana na wanatoka huko eneo ya bunge la Nyakach. Sasa ya kwanza tunatoa rambirambi zetu, na pia leo hii tumepata ajali. Na sasa tu katika mwezi wa 8 tumekuwa na ajali mengi, na tunafaa kwanza kuangalia kwa makini ni nini na inasababisha ajali katika barabara zetu. Na kando na hiyo, ni kwa nini ajali inafanyika tu katika mwezi moja, ajali zaidi ya moja? Kwa nini hatukuwa na ajali mengi katika mwezi wa uliopita ama mwezi wa 6? Ni tu hii mwezi wa 8 tumekuwa na ajali karibu zaidi ya 3, na kwa wiki moja tunapata ajali kama 3 na watu wengi wanakufa, si hata mtu mmoja ama watu watatu. Pengine kuna jambo tunafaa kurekebisha kama wananchi, na pia kuna jambo tunafaa kusisitiza. Unapata na ni eneo tu moja. Umezungumza upande wa Lela, unajua Lela kutoka Kisumu ukielekea Maseno, hapo ni Lela, na vile vile hapo Coptic and about ni eneo za Kisumu huko pande za Mamboleo. Na kwa nini tu upande moja, sehemu moja na mwezi moja, na watu wanakufa? Idadi ya watu ni wengi kuliko hata mtu mmoja. Sasa mimi nasema tu tunafaa kuhakikisha kwamba tutatue ni kwa nini tunapoteza watu katika barabara, na ni vitu gani ambazo sisi kama nchi ama serikali tumeweka mikakati kuhakikisha kwamba tumezuia maajali kama hayo katika barabara zetu. Na pia tuko na wale
maafisa wa polisi
katika barabara zetu, na vile vile tuko na zile sheria, maafisa wa polisi ambao wanakusaidia mambo na barabara, wale wanaitwa katika lugha ya kimombo traffic officers, na vile vile kuna zile sheria ambazo ziko katika barabara zetu ambazo zinatusaidia. Na vile vile tunafaa kuangalia kwa pia wale ambao wamepoteza maisha yao. Yule dereva alikuwa hali gani? Hali ya dereva iko aje? Unapata pengine dereva alikuwa yule mtu amelewa, ama dereva alikosa kuangalia gari kabla atoke. Sasa kuna jambo mengi tu tunafaa kuangalia sisi kama wananchi, lakini jambo cha muhimu tunafaa kuhakikisha kwamba sisi kama wasafiri, sisi kama abiria, na pia madereva wetu wote tukue responsible, ya kwamba wakati tunapofanya safari zetu tuhakikisha kwamba kila mtu ako responsible, ili tuzuie mambo kama hayo katika barabara zetu.
Okay, asante sana ndugu yangu. Na hapa rafiki yetu anasema, why is Kenya normalizing road accidents? They are treating it like headache. We need good roads, education about driving. Motorbike or cars are weapons, should be handled with care. True, because one of the things that I would say is that especially the responsibility stops with everyone, and it also stops with the traffic police and even the driver who is in charge, and even making sure that the machines or the vehicles that we are using for roads, are they worthy, and also the inspection, are they up to date in terms of inspection, So those are some of the things that you have to, because like sometimes you might find sometimes the traffic officers might stop the car, and they just wanaangalia tu kidogo hivi, alafu wanapita dakika kidogo, unapata kwamba ilikuwa na hitilafu. And when you look at the place of Coptic, that roundabout, I think like it's something that now should be looked into. And how should it be looked into? Because this is not the first time it was happening in that area. It has happened for so many people. So many lives have been lost around that area. And the other day I was seeing, I was watching on how people thought that the Coptic church that is around that area, maybe they are involved, and So I think there's so much going on. Let me take this opportunity to welcome my perspective. I hope you're doing well. Do you guys believe there is kafara? The month of August, Kenyan history is associated with the deaths and sacrifices. The spirits are very active in the month of August to keep their domain. Miguda, wewe kwako unasema kitu, amesema kafara. Kafara naijua.
Sikuwa nataka kuongelea mambo na kafara mimi kwa sababu sikuwa na ujumbe kamili. Mambo ya kafara napata pia watu wanasema na watu pia wamesema mambo kama hayo. Sasa mimi juu vile sijaelewa mambo na kafara na sina ujumbe kamili kuhusu mambo na kafara, ningependa kuzungumzia mambo na kafara, lakini ningependa tu kusema tu kwa maoni yangu si kitu ya kawaida. Si kitu ya kawaida napata ya kwamba watu kama hiyo mfano nimekupatia, wale walioaga dunia wakati huo ilikuwa mwaka 2023 na tena hao walioaga dunia hapo Ijumaa wanatoka katika eneo moja, kijiji kimoja, the same clan kwa kimombo. Sasa unapata walikufa zaidi ya 20 kila mtu. Sasa hapo pia ukiangalia katika spiritual world unapata kwamba mambo na kafara inaweza kuwa na pia mambo na Agosti, mambo na siasa za Kenya. Na sasa mimi siko huko, lakini kama ningekuwa huko ningeeleza kabisa. Mimi niko kwa mambo za zenye ambaye naona tu kama kwa mfano ajali za kuwa pengine dereva alikuwa amelewa, pengine dereva alikuwa anaendesha kwa kasi, pengine hali ya gari ilikuwa mbaya, pengine gari ilikuwa kazee, vitu kama hizo.
Asante sana kwa hayo, lakini unajua tuko na historia katika nchi yetu ambayo ipo ndugu yetu anauliza maana ya kafara. Maana ya kafara unaweza sema kwamba ni sadaka ama matoleo yani yanaweza tolewa kwa ajali ya heri au unajua kwamba unatoa kafara. Naweza sema kwamba ni evil, ni ule unatoa kafara. Ama Miguda unasema
kafara? Umesema ni sadaka ya kubana na wewe, lakini sadaka sacrifice. Sasa ni sadaka ambayo wanatolea, lakini si mambo na fedha. Wanatumia binadamu ama damu ya binadamu kuhakikisha kwamba wametoa sadaka kwa wale wanaoamini ya kwamba kuna wale wanaotaka damu na kuna wale wanaoamini ya kwamba mambo na mashetani, mambo na vitu kama hizo. Hiyo ndio maana ya kafara, lakini kwa maoni yangu mimi sijafika hapo. Wakati afika hapo nitakuwa na ujuzi na kueleza vizuri vile kafara hufanywa na hutolewa. Kwa sasa mimi nasema ya kwamba ajali, kwa maoni yangu ama vile mimi nimekaa tangu nizaliwe mpaka saa hii, nimeona tu mambo na dereva, abiria, gari ama maafisa ambao wanasaidia kuhakikisha kwamba kuna usalama katika barabara zetu.
Okay, sawa. Na pia jambo lingine umesema hapo, unapata kwamba kafara huwa saa zingine inatumia wanyama, chakula, sana hahitaji ni kama fedha. Anasema huyu amenitolea kama kafara, imetolewa kama kafara. Asante sana, my perspective, and for reminding us, especially the history that we have with the month of August. That is something that, and it is something that now the drivers I mean should be very mindful of their environment, especially when you're driving. And one of the things that, especially if you're a driver, you should know that in the road you are the best driver so far. You are the best driver, so you will always have to know your surrounding. Some of the accidents can be prevented, but some cannot. But if you look at the one that happened with the inner coach, you could not, because the other car lost the brakes, so there was you could not control it. And like when you look at even the one that has happened in Lela, based on what I've been told, it was like another trailer and the bus that was passengers bus for So hopefully we believe that the departments and everybody who is in charge, especially in roads, that include you, the person who is on the car as a passenger, you should also be very, very careful. If you see the driver is not doing what he was supposed to do, you could raise that. Also, the men and women in the uniform who have been working tirelessly during the day to see our roads are safe, you can also play your part well. I know you've been, but now you can improve. To the ministry that is involved in transportation, also they should come out and find a way possible on what they can do so that we don't lose many Kenyans. That is, we don't want to see our brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters, and our young ones lose their life on the road in stations that could have been prevented. And we believe that it is going to be a thing of the past when we are in the month of August. And to those families who have lost their loved ones, we take this opportunity to send our sincere condolences to you and your family. And we say, may God give you strength during this trying moment and keep you safe. Miguda, thank you so much for that. And let's go to the discussion of today. I was looking at the Rigathi Gachagua. He's in the United States, and but it seems that the narrative that Rigathi Gachagua is playing, or the kind of politics that Rigathi Gachagua is doing, seems to be at like is winning over President and Ruto allies. Because the reason why I'm saying this, sometimes he becomes the subject of discussion. Even in those rallies where they are doing empowerment, around 90% of their messages is about the empowerment, is about attacking Rigathi Gachagua. And so which means, to me, I feel that he's winning because he has become a narrative, or setting up a narrative or agenda for you for today. Because this is true. Remember how he has been talking, especially we will look at actually the one that happened recently when he accused, or he was associating, especially the president, with the Al-Shabaab, and also talking about the negotiation between the what the CS for Interior Murkomen say when there was abduction of the chiefs. And you find that this is something that is going on, and also talking about the review of the Kenya allies at a non-NATO member that is before the Senate. The Senate, especially that that issue was brought up by a Republican president, where I was talking about that, and also about the relationship between the RSF and the Kenyan government. So, and just he was just echoing in, but like when he spoke about that, it became the talk of the day, especially from the president, especially those who are the broad-based, to a point whereby Murkomen was daring to arrest him when he comes to the State House. I mean, when he come back from the country, and to record a statement. That is that. And also we will also have to look at when how does the constitution works, especially when it comes to the freedom of expression. What are the limitations? Yeah, at what point do I go overboard of my expression that has been given to me by the constitution, or that freedom of speech? And if I speak something and I don't agree with you, can it be criminalized? That is something that we have to look at. How are we navigating the constitution, and what are our limitations? So that is the point of our discussion, and also something that we are going to look at on how Kindiki, I have been speaking about Kindiki, and the reason why I've been speaking about the deputy president, I'm seeing deputy president losing the face of the deputy president. He will be a face of the deputy president by name or by title, but in the political sphere, he will be reduced to a Mount Kenya. I would say that he will be reduced to a Mount Kenya fighter who is fighting Rigathi Gachagua, or is fighting the influence of Rigathi Gachagua, or no, if we're not fighting for influence of Rigathi Gachagua, but he will be fighting on how to connect the president with the larger Mount Kenya, because President lost that vote, or there's that mistrust between the numerical power or the relationship of Mount Kenya. So he will be in Mount Kenya as somebody who will be pushing president's agenda and to make sure that the president get back Mount Kenya. And that one is going to take him out of the national outlook as a political leader and be like somebody who is fighting in Mount Kenya to solidify. And I'm seeing our brother has also joined us. Joseph, thank you so much for joining us. We just started the conversation about, we were looking at how Rigathi Gachagua is winning over President William Ruto allies, and even because like he has become a center of in the conversation. He tends to set the pace, what they are going to say for 1 week. He says something that they will follow up with it. And this one has been what has been happening with Rigathi Gachagua. He has always taken the conversation to the doorstep of the president and his allied, all those who are allied to broad-based government. So that is what we are going to see. And we say that in politics, how are they going to encounter that? And also we are looking at the main reason, that is what people also say, that the main reason why even the empowerment project is going on is because that the Kenya Kwanza have realized that they're not with the people. And what is the best way to bring in people back to their side is through empowerment, because the empowerment is about money, and money is very influential. Is now running away from the ideology. Yeah, because if it could have been ideology, the Hustler Fund was one of the ideology that was brought to the people, that this was something that was going to be as the pathway to the empowerment, whereby the youth could access the funds that were allocated in the Hustler Fund. But today, when you investigate or you look at the progress of Hustler Fund, he's not even being mentioned even in those rallies that the president is attending, or the allies of the president is attending. It's about the empowerment that is them themselves are coming. So it means that the Hustler Fund is no longer working, or the Hustler Fund is not playing the role that it was supposed to play. So all of them are geared towards the political and winning the souls, or winning the larger population to come back to the Hustler nation, or to come back to the president. Hey, Brother Beso, I just ask one question: what the government has done or said, it was not in the vacuum. Thank you so much for that joining, and I thank Joseph. How are you doing, my brother?
How are you, Brother Benson?
I'm doing fine. It's been a while, brother.
Yeah, I can see Mary is there. You can send her the link. She likes to come in conversations.
Okay,
Mary,
let me see. I think she should share with us her number so that we.
Yeah, she definitely, when she comes, she'll share. You can
Yes.
send her the link so that she can.
Okay. As I try to share the link, please share with us how you would see that, how Rigathi Gachagua has made the narrative on how set the pace, especially for the president allies or those who are supporting the broad-based government. Even when they're doing their empowerment, it cannot go away without mentioning the name of Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes, thank you for that question. And sorry, brother, nowadays I've not been following politics keenly. That's why I've not come to the show, because when I don't have things in perspective, I don't like to come and share things I don't understand. So I have been in football mode. We have been in football mode. So I was just enjoying some nice football from the Chan competition. So I saw the empowerment in State House. I did not even follow it well. I think they were seen as an empowerment, but I heard nobody went with anything home. So I don't know until we see the results of if somebody went with something home. I heard they were just show offs there. Nobody went with anything. They were just showing them the things that they have provided for them. So I did not see so much of that State House in any. But all in all, the government is trying to win the people's heart, but it's very difficult. because people have seen what has happened in the past few years, 1 to 2 years. They have seen what has been happening around the country. So for the empowerments, I had come here and I said that it's still the same issue. We are just using money for money that is there, which is not supposed to be used in those kinds of things. We are supposed to use to channel them to developments, but they're using them in those so-called empowerments.
Yes.
So that one is just a hoax from the government, try to catch the people's eyes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. And you know, I know we've spoken about that, and we know it's for the government, but like you know, the narrative that I just want to get in terms of, because like this is politics. At the end of the day, it's politicking, and that is what politicians are made of. And you know, when you look at, you know, we've been talking about the Rigathi Gachagua. It doesn't matter whether you support him or not, but we want to look at holistically the politics. Ever since Rigathi Gachagua was impeached, you know, and his main impeachment was that Rigathi Gachagua was going to be impeached. After being impeached, he was supposed to go to Wamunyoro, and that will be the end of Rigathi Gachagua. But what happened was that he was impeached and he turned into a new leaf. And that new leaf, he becomes somebody who he's now a thorn in the flesh of the administration where he works at, and also to the people who do not sell to his ideology. But now, this is somebody who was taken like, he's nobody now in politics, but he still controlled the narrative, you know, he still controlled the narrative of the politics of the day, whereby if you don't agree with him, but even in your deliverance of services, you know, he becomes part of the conversation, whether negatively or positively, but he has been. And why is it that he controls what is happening? And how are the people going to look at, even in the next, to say that administration that is coming, look at him and say that make those changes? Thank you so much,
Yes.
Ms. Mary Wainaina.
Yes, I want to take it from where you have said.
Yeah.
Some of the things, it's good that he tries to show us some of the ills that the government is doing.
Yeah.
But me, I don't trust somebody who has just come out of that government. To say the truth, I just want to be frank today. And regarding what I heard Gashagua talking in the US and saying that he's going to, you know, the US is not fighting a war that is just that they are going to come and show us about Al-Shabaab and all the things. US, they are fighting a proxy war against China, and they are using Kenya as their. You know, US don't like to fight the war themselves. They like to use other countries to fight their wars. And for that one, I think the person who was advising him did not advise him well. It's okay. You can go and say all those things about Ruto, but you know, the problem is, are you dragging the country into this? Because you know, if you are drag the name Ruto, but don't drag also the country with it. That is something that I'm also afraid with, because if you start dragging the country's situations in all your things, you know, now they are going to start saying Kenya is the one supporting RSF. You think they are going to stay Ruto? No, they are going to say Kenya is the one supporting Al-Shabaab. They are the ones who are supporting the RSF. They are the ones fighting that proxy war in Sudan. So it's to me, it was not the right way to put it. He could have, when saying you are going to bring, it's okay, you can do whatever you want to do after his, because even I don't think there is not something they can do to Ruto right now. He's in power. Maybe when he's out of power in 2027, they can do that thing there. But somebody sometimes like to seek. Somebody likes to talk. When you go to countries and you are a person who has influence in a country, you tend also to create bilateral means. But also the US is fighting a proxy war, brother, against China through us. And I don't like that. Me, I don't like when they are fighting their proxy wars using us. It's very unfortunate.
Okay, thank you so much. Before I invite in Wainaina, let me get Miguda perspective. Miguda, what is your perspective based on what the deputy president has said, which actually has necessitated that conversation, especially the relationship between the country, especially, and the RSF, and even accusing or the presidency in that. Do you this is political correctness, or what does this one mean?
I still believe that initially it is the DP who alleged that William Ruto is working the RSF, and he alleged that he was also informed to receive that vice president, and is the person who also has been alleging these things while he was here in Kenya. But now he's justifying them abroad. So when there was an issue, and my statement was very clear. The first time I said, if there is any offense he has committed, once he's back in Kenya, let him go and record the statement, and he's not immune. So he can face the law, and he can record the statement is clear. Because from what I know is that he's the one who initiated the allegation as an opposition leader while he was in Kenya here. Right now, after the US has established, the Congress has established investigation, is now justifying. So I think it's something that he needs to record a statement, and also he needs to come clear, because he said that he's ready to assist the investigation whenever he's called upon to do so. So I think we should leave it.
Okay, Miguda, are you still there? Okay, maybe we've lost Miguda. Where is, I wanted to engage my sister on this, and I think did she drop? Okay, thank you so much. Miguda, are you still there? As we still waiting and recording, let me take this opportunity also to greet our father. I see him there. It has been a while before hearing from you. I hope and I believe that you are doing fine. Miguda, are you still there, or you left? Joseph, as we still wait for them to come back, talking about the statement, I don't know whether you are well versed, especially when you have what we call the Constitution. The Constitution always allows us to have the right of expression. I have to express myself constitutionally. You have it with you, and it's provided to in the law. So what are the limitations of expression? Where should I not go overboard when you look at how, especially when it comes to matters to deal with the security, which you say that it was not, but now where should I reach? What should be my limitation?
Yeah, thank you for that question. There is some limitation in the Constitution about where your freedom of speech reaches, and that one cannot infringe national security of the country, because you just want to make your own statements. Even you cannot just go there and say that you are going to go and bomb the parliament. So I think the limitations are just given, and they are there. But the problem I am not understanding is what jurisdiction does the US Senate have in Kenya? Because Kenya is a sovereign country. I don't think they have any jurisdiction in our country, even if they can come with all those things they are trying to factor in. It's better to sometimes to say some things, because some things, that thing also it did not augur well with me, because if we mean we are a sovereign country, why do we let US discuss or engage in the way they want to do? They can do whatever they want in our country. They can even summon and go to the US Senate and talk about how they are going to. Yes, if they want to take that NATO, they can take, but they should not infringe on sovereign power of the people, because we are a country who is democratically led by our constitution. And we have seen the countries that they have followed this route. They have not gone a very good route. You can see some of the countries which have been in this so-called, I'm saying, proxy wars. They have been there. You have seen the likes of the Kina Mali, Akina Burkina Faso. We have seen them, because those powers may be that they say they are. The problem that US is feeling. The problem that came there is because Ruto went and said that they are going to be having what did they call it? They said that it's going to be another new world order. You remember he said that it is another new world order. I think they feel influenced by what was said there. Yes, we are going to have a new one. Who said that US is going to stay there for all their lives being the superpower, and people are not going to seek other alternative means. In other cases,
All right, we just left Joseph and Miguda. There's something that I was asking about the limitation of expression, because we know the Constitution give us that, and what are the limitations that are there for me or for any other Kenyan citizen? You've been allowed to express yourself, and the Constitution gives you that. But are there limitations that okay, this is a place that now I should not go overboard, especially with this?
Yeah, the Constitution granted us the freedom of expression, as you have expressly stated. And whenever anybody is expressing his or herself, he needs to understand that there is also a limitation to the freedom of expression. And one of the limitations of the freedom of expression, freedom of expression is the only freedom which is limited in the entire Bill of Rights and the fundamental freedoms, because you cannot incite to violence, whereby you're inciting a member of community to violence. That one, you will be arrested, you will be taken to investigation and record a statement by the DCI, and you'll be charged in the court of law. And if you go ahead and also spread hatred against each and every community, or you spread hatred into either nationally, internationally, that one you can also be arrested and investigated, then charged. At the same time, if you engage into propaganda to war, whereby you are propagating war, that one also, your freedom of expression is limited. But you can express yourself the way you like it. You can even, to an extent of insulting someone, even abusing someone, but provided that there is no incitement to violence, propaganda to war, and spread of hatred, I think you are free to express yourself. But what I want to say is that, concerning the issue of Gachagua, Gachagua told us that he was the person who received Hemedi when Hemedi came to Kenya, and he got instruction from William Ruto that he let go and receive my friend Hemedi, and they understand this transaction between Hemedi and William Ruto, the issue of RSF. If that is the case, the way I've said, he's a person who alleged, and you understand that he who alleges must prove. So it's up to him now to prove to the people. That's why when Murkomen said that when he comes back to the country, he will record a statement. I think that is the way to go. You need to record a statement and come out clear to the people that why is it that
let me ask
it's a matter of
let me ask you, is it mandatory for you to record a statement, or it is like voluntary when you have such?
If you have such allegations, I don't not that it's voluntary. It is mandatory to record a statement, because when he was in the US right now, he said that it's not about Kenya, it's about William Ruto. He was very specific that no, the Congress has not initiated investigation against Kenya. The Congress has initiated investigation against William Ruto. Now, it was very specific to my view. That's why I'm saying, if that is the case, rather than him telling the people each and every day that there is a relationship between RSF and Kenya, he need to come clear and record a statement, because he seems to have much information than any other person. So by giving us that information to the relevant authorities, so that we can carry out the investigation and ensure that we get to the root cause of the allegations, it could be good, rather than such serious accusation on the Kenyan basis, whereby they are threatening even to get rid of the non-NATO ally from Kenya because of association with the RSF and also association with the terror group Al-Shabaab. So I think when we look at it in the context of legality, he needs to record a statement, leave alone the issue of politics or the issue of between him and William Ruto. He needs to state clearly what he knows about this RSF, what he knows about the association with Al-Shabaab, because he said very clearly. And to me, it should not be treated as political, because even him has admitted that he's ready to assist the Congress to carry out investigation. So it means that Gashagua knows more about this thing than any other person. So for it to carry out the relevant route, let him record a statement. Once the fact that he's gonna record doesn't mean that he's gonna be arrested. He can just walk to the beside quarter, record a statement, then walks back home to Wamunyoro. This perspective that we are going to arrest him is what is creating political tension in the country. Anybody can record a statement minus arrest. Recording a statement does not amount to arrest.
Okay, and thank you so much. And I want to come to you, Joseph, because like in this country, or in our country, especially when it comes to legislation, we have various committees that are in charge of having investigation, because like the investigation cannot only be done by the security apparatus, especially when you look at the one that accusation that the Rigathi Gachagua is giving. And even what happened to Kizza Besigye when he was in the country, where he was arrested on the street, sometimes the parliament need to come up and investigate this. Do you think going by the parliamentary committee would be the best way, so that they can get the full information rather than taking it through the security apparatus?
I think I got your point. Either way, it is always important to give proper information to the public, more so matters concerning security. Matters concerning security are a national interest, whereby it cannot be done just on a light basis that once I've alleged anything concerning the interest of the national security, then I'll just be let to go. So be it parliamentary process, whereby there's a committee of national security who can come and also initiate an investigation. Good, that's a good advancement. But also you understand, right now we have a structured investigative directorate, that's the BCIO, which can carry out. So there's no need of taking a through long route to constitute a committee in parliament to bring Gachagua back to parliament, rather than just go to record the statement that as things are concerned, there's a threat to national security of the country, whereby the president is engaging the RSF, and him, Gachagua, was used to receive Hemedi. At the same time, there's a national threat of the security, whereby there's an association between the CS for internal security and the Al-Shabaab, and also the Al-Shabaab, the terror group. So these issues, before we have gone to state to do our investigation in the Congress, we need to initiate our local investigation. Remember, even for us to go to Hague, we never jumped to Hague. There was a process in parliament whereby there was a consensus that let us not be vague, let's go to Hague. It must be initiated by the country. We can't go to Hague, or we can't go to the minus the concept of the country. That's why my brother Joseph Kariuki was discussing the issue of sovereignty, the issue of a sovereign state. I understand it very well, because there's no way we can just jump to ICC, or we can just jump to the Congress minus initiating our local, according to our laws. Even for us to, even we are saying that Ruto is an ICC suspect and he needs to go back, it must go through the process of the country, because we can decline to associate with the ICC at our sovereign state. We can say, okay, with the sovereign state, we have associated with the ICC, and we have also declined to the ICC those demands. It's up to you. We are sovereign. So what I have to say is here, we need to ensure that matters concerning national security should be treated with a careful, because when anybody allege, leave another issue of politics between Gachagua and Ruto, Gachagua has provided that he himself received a MEDI, the issue of RSF, and he himself knows that this association between CS Murkomen and the Al-Shabaab is very simple. Let him give us details, information, so that we can engage our investigative agencies that Murkomen should be initiated the investigation and vis-a-vis the president. But before, because this is a thing whereby Kenya will be put into a test, and that's why Gachagua himself said that in USA, and I watched his speech. He said that no, it's not about Kenya, it's about William Ruto. Even himself, he knows very well that's the one to put Kenya in a war zone. That's why he was specifically stating that it's William Ruto. So to me, it is very important to come clear and make it to the public that as per me, Gashagua, I have relevant information concerning ABC. That's why I'm saying, leave alone the issue of arrest or threats. Him just come to the country, even his lawyers can go to the headquarters to record a statement, and he can just walk from Nairobi, JKA, to Amunyoro. He doesn't need to go to the cells because just recording a statement so that at least he can give us much information. Because he said, and I quote him, "I'm ready to assist the Congress to carry out investigation because I know much about that information."
But if they ask me to.
Yeah. If they ask me to, I'm ready.
Okay, now let me come to Joseph, because we would say that this is a very good development, and we take politics out of it, because that is like, as a country, it must be something of the concern, because you know what the group that how it has happened in those countries, and we know what Al-Shabaab has really done to our country. You talk about Dusit Hotel, what happened and all that. We've gone through that, and we know. And if we take politics out of it, and now we want to get to the real matter, so we don't treat, because like if you check it very carefully, you find that people like the political side has taken it that they feel like this is a criminology. It's something like of this is a like together is a somebody who is a criminal of saying that. I'm not saying so, but it is like from the look of things when you look at the political angle. But now it is something that is very sensitive, and now we want to handle it. Do you think that every party, including the investigative agencies and the people that are especially like the president side and his allies, and including Murkomen, is welcoming this issue so that they can get something out of it, or they are bringing it in that bring it that into the criminal side? Because like if you listen to CS was daring to arrest him because he has an information. So that's why I was asking, like, if you have an information and you've given out, now you're being arrested, you want to be arrested instead of want to know about the information. Mr. Joseph, what do you think?
I think in terms of Kenya, it is just politics being played at hand.
Yeah,
it's not more than politics, which is above politics. But in terms of US, that's where my question stands, and it is going to still stand. Do you think US has the best interest of Kenyans at heart? That right now is when they know they can talk about RSF. When did RSF and Kenya start, and what they are saying, Ruto? When did the story start? Have they started now? They started about 2-3 months ago. Right now is the time they have seen that they can talk about this issue. Then who is US? Is it the International Criminal Court, or who are they? My question is that, because I don't like this overreach of US to other African countries. It's overstepping on our boundaries as Africans. And why don't they do it in other countries? They like to do it in Africa. Sometimes I feel very angry when I see they are trying to take their Senate there and talk about issues. If RSF was met in Kenya, or what they are talking about, Al-Shabaab, why did they not go to the International Criminal Court and charge the president, or state that the country is helping, aiding the groups that they are saying they are illegal? Then one thing I'm for sure, why has all this begun when you heard that Kenya and China are having trade relations? Why is all this coming this time? I ask myself too many questions, because I cannot like to have a, when they say that being a friend, being an enemy to the US and being a friend to the US is more even dangerous than even being an enemy. That is more fatal than being its enemy, because when you are its friend, they can take you down very very fast. So I ask myself, why is the US, is it the sole body responsible in all this, or we have a UN? So that is my question. I don't really understand in this whole Senate, they are taking Senate discussing about. I don't understand, because
now,
who are they to be checking on situations of a country?
When you look at it, when you look at the initial stages, actually, when you look at the initial stages of the what brought this conversation is about the non-NATO ally, and about the association of the president with the, you talk of global market war, and global association. And you saw recently President visited China, and that one could have been the main reason why this is coming in. And
so, Brother Benson, I have a
yeah.
question also. I need you to answer me with Miguda. What is NATO? What is NATO helping us as a country? What does
No,
being a NATO ally of Kenya helping us as a country? I need to understand that.
Okay, from Miguda will come in from what I think, because like, you know, when you join NATO, if you are a NATO ally and you join, you are among the NATO members, which means, let's say in the event that there is somebody is attacking you, or enemies coming for you, you know, all NATO members will protect you. Yeah. But to be non-ally, on my side, in terms, I'm looking at it in terms of when even like somebody attacked Kenya, you know, since you are an ally, I don't think they can protect you. And I think this one came as a result of, this came at a result when now we wanted our soldiers to go to Haiti. Remember, that's when this issue came, you know. And that's why I feel like there's that, what now we look at the relationship, what could have necessitated that. And remember, during those times, something that we also have to agree, that the president actually was the darling to the ambassador of Kenya then, Meg Whitman, you know. So and now with the change of administration, now they have to look at things. But in the ideal situation, like Kenya has been out of that, I don't see a major benefit that we could say that we might be getting from it. Or Miguda, what do you think?
Because even I've seen is like we are the ones who are using our own things to help them. Because if you are sending our soldiers to Haiti, it's like we are the ones who are being used. It's like they are using us. So
and now
you
see, before Miguda comes in, you know, like this Haiti issue, you know, like it is, people do not talk about it anymore. Do our soldiers still there?
In Haiti?
Yeah?
Yeah, they are still there.
We don't get no information. The last time I got information was about this young person who was missing from the group of soldiers and that's where the information, you know, I've never heard of them again. We need to start following up, and how are they doing? What is the progress? Are they making any progress? Because even the president does not talk about it. I've never heard Murkomen talking about it. It's something that is so silent. They don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah, and we need to review these things, Brother Benson. These things are things that not are supposed to be done in a hurry, because if we are going to say that, me, you know, what I'm feeling bad is that the US can command what we are doing in as a country. It does not sit well with me. That one does not sit well with me. I hope you are going to bear that one with me. That is my point, and does not sit well with me. I don't like it at all.
Okay, thank you so much. Before Miguda comes in, for a non-NATO ally to US means sharing some intelligence with Kenya, get some military industrial contract, fight for the ally, but US can't fight for you. That is according to our good father saying that. Miguda, what is your take on it?
First, let me respond to the issue of Haiti. You know, understand, there was a time whereby we lost our police officer, and they were brought back to the country and they were buried. So I think, you know, when you are in war, this is how you can also change your tact. You don't need to expose yourself too much to the public or give much information to the public. So maybe it has been systematic, whereby the government has decided to deny us the access to the information in Haiti. Even our soldiers no longer share their video on the TikTok. You know, the early time they used to share how they were teaching those kids in Haiti. Yes. They used to share how they were eating foods, how they were having those motor vehicles, how they were protecting the US embassy. They used to share with us on the TikTok. So from a certain point, they stopped sharing. So we were unable to access information from them. So I think it's one of the ways to change the tact in war, and the government has done it. So because there was too much pressure that those people went to Haiti, they were going there to come back as Haiti, and some people were killed. So I think for government to control the conversation is how they have talked with our soldiers. Remember, even right now, our soldiers are in Congo, but we can't get information but initially, remember the South African soldiers, they used to share the videos on TikTok. So we could get more information about the South African soldiers, but not our soldiers, unless you have a friend at Congo. So when you call him, he can brief you on the status in Congo. So I think that is why we no longer get information. Even the media no longer share, the mainstream media, they no longer broadcast any issue about Haiti. I think it's just one of the needs have decided to control the information. How much should I give the public? And it's very effective. And that one I can say that's what's happening. The issue of NATO now, NATO ally, to me, Kenya is strategic in East Africa. And you understand the issue whereby currently there are a lot of things happening in the Africa, like the issue of Central African Republic, the issue of Sudan, the Congo. Kenya being strategic, and because you understand the good relationship we had with the former ambassador, Meg Whitman, a NATO ally, we were supposed to receive some equipments and training. But remember, US is also having some enemies within. So it's very good if they have one of their ally within the strategic position, whereby in case they want to fight, they have to release their ally to fight for them. Like what happened right now in Haiti, we were forced to go to assist the Haitian. And remember the relationship between Biden, Ruto, with Megman, and the former Haiti president. So Kenya being strategic in the East Africa, so it can be used to assist American to fight their wars in the pretense that they are going to get military equipments. Like we were promised they were going to get the, I don't know if the F5 jet fighter, and also there were some, like I think 4 or 14, but they cannot give us the one, I don't know if it's called Chinook or Chinook, the one they used to destabilize the Iranian war.
Chinook.
So
Chinook.
Chinook. They should have given us Chinook, because look at those our I don't want to, those our jets, the fighting jets we have, the ones we are at the Laikipia Air Base. I think they are not worthy to be called an ally to NATO. I think that was very strategic. So they are using human capital. They're using us, the soldiers of Kenyans, and also the police officers, to assist them internationally. I think that's why we were into that status. That's why that status was given to us. But you even remember when Gashagua is speaking, Gashagua is like, we should scrape away that status. But to us, whether we are a NATO ally or we're not a NATO ally, it doesn't affect us anyway as a people. It's just about the relationship. I think it's just a diplomatic relationship between the United States of America and the Kenyan state.
Okay, thank you very much.
Before you go, I just want to add something on what Miguda said.
Okay, go ahead.
I also think the US, they are angry because the decisions that Kenya has been taking, I think they are not been auguring well with them. You saw like the resolution that was made in UN to ratify Palestine as a country. Kenya voted for in the favor of Palestine to have itself as a nation or a country. I think those decisions that we have been making, US is a friend to Israel. Wanasemaga Israel ni US na US ni Israel. So I think they got angry with the things that we have been doing, and they are saying we are NATO allies. I think that's why even Trump came back and started saying that he's going to put tariffs. You remember? Yes, it is going to be to put tariffs on. So I think this one is just, I think US is angry about for the decisions that Kenya has been taking. So it's no more than this anger. Ni anger tu inaboil inawatoka.
Let's say at Robinson nauliza, let me see what nauliza, Wakenya in Haiti against our will. We said it, but no one took us seriously. It is business. Ask Ruto to talk over 80, not 1 million game for soccer. Okay, thank you so much. We were having this conversation about the narrative that is being controlled, and we've talked of that one narrative. And now I know it's politics, and we just want to give our view. And if you're watching us for the very first time, you can subscribe to the channel so that when we are having this kind of conversation, it can come to you. And Joseph, when we're looking at Rigathi Gachagua. Let's take away his political or all theatrics that he usually do, and we're looking at Rigathi Gachagua, because one of the main reason he was considered was like he was a tribal leader, and he was somebody who so much concentrated from the region where he's coming from, and that one necessitated his removal, among other accusations that were in the impeachment motion. But now I'm looking at his replacement. His replacement was Kithure Kindiki. And ever since Kithure Kindiki came, the majority of his work has been on the empowerment. He has been on the empowerment of people, especially he has concentrated so much on the Mount Kenya. And the main reason is to replace that influence, or if not to replace, is to bring back the glory that was lost between of the president. So is working on the president's script. So which means it tells you that the majority of time that he will be spending his roles in Mount Kenya. And that one, to me, I feel that is taking away that for him to elevate to that national leader and represent that office as an office of the nation, but he's going to be, as a person, he's going to concentrate in Mount Kenya. How does that one now elevate him or put him as somebody who is outlook leader of national, like he's a national leader, if the script that he's doing is majorly concentrated on the central Kenya compared to what Rigathi Gachagua was doing, or compared to what Rigathi is doing?
Yeah, thank you. And I see like Matu is telling you help him with the link there down. So I just want to answer what you have said about Kindiki.
The link is here.
I think Kindiki, what happened to Kindiki? Kindiki has no inroads to go. That's why you see he cannot be able to go and marshal crowds when he goes to these places. See kama vile anaweza enda stops, like different stops, and he gather masses. So I think for him, he sees it's very easy for him to do the empowerments. You know, when he's doing the empowerments, he can see the people who are going to get in, the people, what they are going to say, when they are told what, they are going to respond what. But for him, seeing them in roadways, you know, the problem with Kindiki is one thing. People think he's just a selected deputy president. He's not an elected one. So when people see him, they just see a powerless fellow who does not have any first in where he's coming from, in the area that he's coming from. Most of the people see that like he's a powerless person. He's like he was given that one on a silver platter. He did not work for it. So I think that is a problem happening with the empowerments you are seeing. The empowerments, you can do the empowerments and call the people you want. Hata wewe ukitaka leo kuwa na mkutano brother Benson na uko na pesa twako tumali, utaita watu hapo na uambie mimi nataka, nikiwaambia mimi ni governor, mnasema mimi ni governor. Ukisema ni governor wanasema ni Jamo. Governor Jamo. So when they say that people will be taken from the videos and saying hey, na brother Benson akona watu wanasema yeye ni governor saa hizi anataka kusimama. So I think this is all about politics. This is not empowerment. I've been saying that from throughout. This guy has no inroads there in Mount Kenya. I don't think he can do anything. That is just about that. That's why you see him in those empowerments. And those empowerments, they're just corruption schemes. There's no other thing which is happening in those empowerments.
So how then would he take that national look, if to say that because like his main role now is how can we get back that lost glory of the president, or if not to get it all, but to bring some sense, and he's going so much to concentrate on the mountain. So what the difference between him and Rigathi Gachagua? What was said about Rigathi Gachagua and him?
I don't think even he's going to be a factor in the coming days. I think they are going to just remove him from that seat, because or they wait until the term is over, they get rid of him, because I don't think he's adding anything to the Ruto camp. There is nothing he's adding to Ruto camp. So I think Ruto is going to check a person from the areas that he think is going to get some votes from, and you know the areas that we are talking about, and he's going to get a deputy from there. I don't think he's going to continue with Kindiki. Kindiki, even in this guy, even in how he lays down his nini, his speeches. Unaona vile mtu anarigi down his speeches with oomph. I think he is already beaten hands down. That one I don't think can happen. But
Okay.
For saying that he'll just continue this empowerment till he's done. Maybe he'll come back as a CS later, maybe when he akikubali atarudishwa kama CS.
Okay, thank you so much, and we've handled that. I'm seeing Makobura and Mato. Habari gani?
Mzuri, umenikimbia sana wewe. You always running away from me, bro.
No, why should I run? Why?
Anaitagwa Martin Dakas.
Why should I run? Because why should I run, my brother?
No, I know why you're running, because this politics have been here with you for a long time, and I told you, and the reason you're running, let me give you that why answer.
Mhm.
Because my prediction is coming to light now.
But that's what we usually like about politics, because like if you can be one person who predicts, then you are the best person that we are looking for. And now we can ask you who is going to be the president 2027.
What did he predict? Right. Well, first, we need to know what he predicted. He cannot just come and lay statements here. This is like you cannot lay statements and you are not even following up with them. You need to withdraw, or you need to lay the statement that you say.
Yeah, when you become wetangu later wewe. But I'm not withdrawing anything. Let it stay in the Hansard. The Hansard of Brother Benson is there. He knows what I predicted. But anyway, maybe Brother Benson, you want me to say it?
No, don't say it, because like, what we are looking here, Mato, and we want you to give us your thought, because like what we are looking here is about the control of narrative, or setting the pace, especially in politics. And we are seeing how Rigathi Gachagua is setting the pace for politics, especially to the president team or the broad-based team, whereby he usually talk of something, then that one become the order of discussion, even in the empowerment.
Thank you for that. I wanted to first of all mess with you guys that around about the Harambee Stars and the money that is actually being ditched around and shown around. Let me go
Tanzania is doing the same.
Lighter note, you have a date with Tanzania. Tanzania wanasema watachapa 10 bila. That goes on Harambee Stars. But now, let me go back to serious business. Brother Benson and everybody, thank you so much. I always appreciate being here. Brother Benson, you're doing a good job. And I'm happy that we are talking matters, our governance and everything. Now, let me talk about Gashagua and where I was coming from. For Brother Benson, you remember sometime when just before and during Gashagua's impeachment, we were here telling people that let Gachagua go, but then give him the mic. Why? We wanted to know what actually happens in the government. And we knew he was going to spill it out. And the thing is that now we're not expecting a Gashagua's presidency. Nobody is going to choose Gachagua because, first of all, the constitution doesn't allow him to be in there. But the thing is that we need Gachagua with the mic at all times. He spilled the beans when he came to Kansas. I live in Kansas, Brother Benson, you know that. I live in Kansas. He came to Kansas and he spilled it, which is some things that we knew. We can hear now some people in the government saying, no, kama ulikula kiapo, you shouldn't be going, unaenda kusema nini. Gachagua said, okay, if Murkomen wants to arrest him when he gets to Kenya, but everything is out there. Because Remember, guys, we live under Geneva Convention. We have had so many conventions and so many agreements to live and to understand. That's why we have the ICC. But some things, if you're hiding them, then somebody's going to have to say it. It's a jittered lover, but is somebody that is actually coming to say what exactly is being hidden. Hello?
Okay, Mike, before I engage everybody, I want you to be short and maybe explain to me and make us, our viewers understand. If we give him the mic and he's spilling all these beans, at what benefit do the country have?
The benefit, I don't know, Brother Benson, I don't know, my screen changed. Maybe you're trying to work on something. Okay, so no, Benson, Brother Benson, and all our viewers and our panelists here, is that these are the things that we don't know. These are the things that it's a cult when you're up there in power. And these are the things that actually is almost what Morara was doing, opening people's eyes is called, kufungua watu macho, is that education, civic education, so that people can actually know what happens in the government. And it's the little things that even Ruto does, that he will come and tell you a million and something, and a very systematic number, that everything, especially if you're a mathematician, you'll realize that not everything is an even number. He just throws it out there because he knows it's gonna make you guys, oh, yaku, mkopoa, because it's a number that looks very sensitive, very nice, imekoskari, because it just looks nice. And this is a nonsense, and that is why we still remain a third world country, because any leader can just come. And it seems like it's what do you call it? Like it's a favor that they're doing to you, but actually it's not a favor. But then Gachagua is actually coming out there, and I don't like the guy so much, but I like what he's doing, because he's coming out to say what the reality is inside that river, that the crocodile is sick, but the toad has come outside to come and tell you the crocodile is sick. So does that make sense? I hope I answered.
Yeah, it makes sense. And let me. I hope you will also allow me to engage other players, especially I saw Makobura is in here, Miguda is in, and let me because Miguda have been here. Miguda, do you also buy the same opinion that by him spilling the beans and saying all this, what is the end game, especially for the country? Because remember, the playbook is more or less the same. The difference is the characters, because the same things that are happening, majority of them, if you look at it, 99%, is the same thing that happened between the president and the Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Brother Benson, real quick, there's a question I was asked up with Miguda Pole. Just give me a second. There's a question I was asked up with Onyuma. Who do we think is the president? I can tell you, the brother that asked that question, right now we don't know, and we don't have a presidential candidate as we speak right now. If you are thinking Raila, if you think whatever, no, those are the same of the birds. I mean, same feathers. We're taking them all out. We just don't know who yet.
Okay, thank you so much. Miguda, you can come in.
Yeah, I can come in. First, I want to say that before Gachagua was impeached, there were some issues which were raised, that maybe the impeachment process was not in accordance with the law, maybe right to be heard. So such things, there's many things in court. But it was good to give him a mic, I can say, because either way, it was good with the mic at Ruto's camp, and right now it's good with the mic where he is. But there is something that we have to raise as our people. He has spilled the beans, but what are the actions that have been taken? For instance, he said that William Ruto is having a personal bank which he bought. So does it mean that after spilling the beans, William Ruto is gonna return that bank, or after spilling the beans, William Ruto is gonna return those lands actually he has grabbed. If that could be the case, then it could be a good position to spill more beans. But just spilling the beans without any effectiveness, to me, it doesn't add up, because you might end up with Rigathi and William Ruto in the same camp. But it could be good if he could be spilling the beans, but we're seeing actions like there is a return of the land, there is compensation, such things. But this issue of Gachagua too loud, of course, is good with the mic, but there are no effectiveness. That's where I have a point of departure with giving him a mic. But with him also, he had some issues with the impeachment. So whether he was impeached lawfully or unlawfully, it's still a case to be decided by the court.
Which means as we speak, and that one now demystify, or that one answers the question, not demystify, that's not a good word. That one now answers the questions that Mato was saying, that he's not allowed to run. As it stands right now, because there's a case that is still, is something that is still very active in the courts. So which means by the time people are going to election, he can still run.
Not that he can still run. What I say, it actually answered the case of Mato, when Mato said that it was good for him to go minus running, that at whatever he has done, he's not in a good position to be the president right now concerning the issues. I remember one of the reasons why he was impeached was the issue of tribalism, whereby that is what was at Senate. But now when he was impeached, to me, he stand impeached right now. Gashagua stand impeached. So as things stand right now, anybody who stands impeached is not allowed to run. So Gachagua is not running for the presidency as per now.
Okay, thank you so much. Makobura, are you there? Makobura. Hello, Makobura. Okay.
Yes. Sorry. I'm here. I'm fully here.
Oh, all right. Can you contribute and hold brief for me?
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Allow me first to say hi to our good viewers. Starting with Laban Misiani, Gypsy Corner, Matoma Candettes. I can see you on the screen. I can see our good friend Joseph. I can see Miguda. I can see our good friend Father Didi. I can as well see our good friend Mary Wainaina. My perspective. I can see Brenda Obedi and everyone who is watching. Allow me to take this opportunity to first say a big thank you for finding time to join us and to give us your take. This is the Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. There's a comment here from Maj Muiruri Thiongo. Magia is saying that they should record a statement with DCI and tell us crates of ammunitions are doing with RSF of Sudan. Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to also give my view on the same. I think the comments of Rigathi Gachagua, they are comments which are really, they are serious comments. And we cannot just have a different opinion anyhowly, but because remember, Rigathi Gachagua was a deputy president, and so many times he has confirmed, and he did confirm among the things that he laid open. I remember him saying that while he was serving as the deputy president, he was made to receive quite a number of guests here in Kenya. Some of them, in his own statement, he did say very well that they were coming for, they were having personal relationship and personal businesses which they were doing with the president. And we've never seen any person from the government side coming out to criticize or to give an alternative view. So we as the spectators, we as the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, we have no, there's a probability that some of us will believe his statement and some of us will not believe. But being that he spoke, this is the second or the third time that he's speaking about this, it could be that the statements he's making are true. Maybe the only thing we can wait and see is whether the DCI will pick him the way they're saying, so that he can give a clarification. Of course, it is right to give a clarification on those matters, but the only question that I'm also asking myself is, in a situation where he's...
Makobura, once you finish, I don't want to lose your chain of thought, but once you finish, I have a lot of comeback on what you're saying.
That's okay. I'll allow me to finish, and then you'll pick up. Yeah, so I'm saying that there's a possibility of him going to be arrested. And of course, the law is very clear. When someone speaks, or when someone gives some statement which are not really, which cannot be verified, then they have to come and give a clarification on what they know. So it is right. Let him come and give his part of the story. But as usual, we are in Kenya. We've seen people being harassed. We know that he'll be harassed. But again, it is not going to be easy, because remember, Gachagua has made a name in Kenya. He has quite a good following, and he has gained quite a number of supporters who believes in him. And so if there are some threats from the government side that is going to be arrested, then the government has to be ready on how they're going to deal with these supporters. Yeah, so that's my take on that. Mato, you can give your take. You can say what you want to say.
Thank you. Me, it's not even a take. It's number one. Let me correct you. It's not Gashagua's. I'm not correcting you in a bad way, but Gashagua, what he's saying is the reality. Everybody here, even the panelists, know it's the truth, what he's trying to say. And, for the longest time I've been, he says, I'm a truthful man. But, he was jittered, but he's talking the truth, something that all of us here know it's true. That guy has not lied about anything. The thing is that the Constitution does not allow him to do some things. But whatever he's saying, and just to come to one point that you said there, DCI and all this mechanism of investigation and everything of Kenya has failed Kenya, because they believe in the person who lives in that state house. That one person, that's what they believe. And we've had a problem of Ruto becoming an engineer, becoming he knows everything. That guy will do everything. He wants to be on top of everything. But then, kuna mahali, let me switch to Kiswahili so that tuelewane. Gashagua, yes, anaambiwa na spill beans into other countries and into other places. But then let me ask you a question. If you're home kwako, nyumbani kwenyu, hakuna mtu anakusikiza, yet unaweza enda mahali pengine uongee, watu wakusikize. Maybe unaweza enda kwa uncle yako, cause mama amekata kukusikiza. Where do you go? So the thing that they're saying that they're going to arrest him when he gets back home, he's already put it out there. As I wish he could go even to UK after US. Go to UK so that we understand this whole thing. So Gachagua speaking this thing out here in the US, I think it's fine, because Kenya kumeshindikana. If you get Ruto, then Raila is also there. Just, playing this game, nini, and there's nothing that is happening. Not that we want Gachagua to be a president, but even if it was you or me, na kumeshindikana, yeah, you go nenda kushtaki yuko kwa prefect bus, okay, whatever. We need some sanctions. so that these leaders start realizing that they are public servants, not leaders. Public service, that is what it is. And luckily, I'm happy enough to know the Larry Madovos of who are actually exposing everything. It's the same thing that is happening. Now they're trying to curtail the media, and I'm happy with Yvonne Okwara. They're bringing it, injecting, put it where it needs to be done, because we have to stop with the nonsense. This is our money. Honestly, now that's why I started Makabura. I started at Onitwaji, the Arambe Stars. It's fine. I hope watalipoyo pesa, because you know what? I'm gonna predict another one. They're not gonna be paid. Sasa say wako 2.5 million. Watch, they're not gonna be paid. That's money laundering. If you don't believe me, talk to me. I'll be back here in about a month. You will tell me that was money laundering. 2.5 million each person so far. It's not gonna happen. Hiyo ni Ruto tu anaweka pesa yako hizo money laundering. Man, that guy is a criminal. I'm sorry. Wacha ninyamaze for now. Any question nitachukua, but we'll continue the conversation. Back to you in the studio.
Okay. Thank you. Joseph?
Yes,
Joseph,
Mark, I want to talk about what Mato has finished there.
Okay. Okay, give me a take.
Because some things are very difficult. Because he has said that 2.5 the players are not going to receive it. So me about football and politics, I don't want to involve myself football and politics. Let them be given what they're being given. If they not be given, they know the mechanism they are going to use to ask for the money. And so far, if they have been given that money, maybe the agreements they have together, I don't know the agreement.
So that you go for both of them, because I know where you're going. So that you go for them. Even the what do you call it? When the Gen Zs are being taken to State House. This whole thing, even Arambe Stars, is to bring the Gen Zs close to Ruto. That's what his game plan is, but that's not where the people are. So I just wanted to extend that to you, because I know you're smart. Maybe you can see the whole thing and maybe you can talk about it. And I'm so sorry for cutting you short. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why Mato was saying, I don't want to involve myself in football and politics. I like to keep myself so distanced from football and politics. You know, even when he's going to go there and offer them the money, he's just going to do it politically, but he's the president of the Republic of Kenya. If he's going to tell them money, they are taking it as the president, but those people, they're not politically inclined. You see the players, their work is in the field. They are just playing football. So about 2.5, 1.5, I heard even somebody saying that the VAR was paid. Brother, these things of entering politics into football, me, I don't want them, because this is a second time that we are hosting a big tournament. So let's not be trivial about. It's okay, whatever you see about it, if it is politically in your side. But me, I don't want to take it politically at this time, because wherever the money is coming from, it is from us. Even if they are going to give it, the money is coming from our pockets. And I don't think anybody is feeling bad when these players get the money. If they have been underpaid, they are not paid their dues. So I don't feel bad even if it is coming from the taxes we remove. It's better it goes there than hearing that the money is being used to build a church. It's better the money goes there to those players, so that we can know their life has been offset, and their dreams, the ones they were chasing. Also, it's for me, I'm taking it as a motivation, because I think now the league will become competitive. The KPL league will become competitive. Then also to what you said about, you know why I'm against Gashagua and all he's saying is spilling the beans. There is certain things. Kuna vitu umesema hapo Mark ukasema ati usiposikizwa kwenye utaenda kwa neighbor kusema nini, but you cannot, there is things you cannot go to expose about your dad and your mom, your peers as a whole. Hawezi kaenda kuanza kusema ati kile mnafanyana ndani kwa ndani. So for him going to stack US, even I don't know which jurisdiction the US has for us to be kushtakiwa na US. I don't understand which jurisdiction they have against our country that they can run everything they want. That for me, that one I don't feel it comfortable with what I saw.
Bro,
And also another thing.
I gave you an example of the Geneva law, the Geneva Convention. Also, now, if you're going to say that, let me know what jurisdiction did ICC, which remember, Ruto still have that case running, Aideisha yake, ya urulisha. But now, you tell me what jurisdiction then, if you're going to say that they don't have jurisdiction. And also, on the same sentence, tell me what jurisdiction they had to get a guy from Homa Bay, which jurisdiction between Homa Bay and Nairobi. So the jurisdictions is just a convention of how we are going to, I mean, it's a way. Anyway, I hope Nime make my point, because
the problem, Mato, umetoka kutoka kwa countries jurisdiction ukaingia to within a country. You know, in Homa Bay it was within a country. Now we are talking about two countries. US is a country, Kenya is a country. Everybody has its own constitution. So I don't know how the Senate of US is trying to probe anything of investigations. And when for so if they have anything to investigate, let them use the clear body that is supposed to investigate these issues. They have the UN as a body. They have the ICC as a body. Let them take whatever they are thinking is wrong to the ICC, or they take it to the concerning body. It's like saying Somali inasema itakuja to investigate because of Al-Shabaab. It's the same thing you can say because US is a country. It's like saying Ethiopia na Somalia wakuwa wakiongea kuhusu nani amekuwa kidistribute pesa kwa Al-Shabaab na RSF. So I don't think it's fair from the US because we have seen so many things they have done, even not the right things. They have done so many bad things in our continent. And trusting them also is not auguring well with people. That's why you see people are not trusting so much of what the US is saying, because sometimes the things they are doing. Do you think, Mato, they have an interest of us in heart? Unadhani ni kuinvestigate, wataka kuinvestigate RSF ama Al-Shabaab? Why don't they go and do that in Sudan? They are coming to do it in Kenya. Or they go to UAE. They said UAE is the one who is funding it. Why are they not going to the UAE? Why are they not going to investigate the UAE? I don't think they have any interest of Kenya at heart. That is the problem I have with the US.
I understand I understand. By the way, I share your concern, brother. I do share your concern. I do personally, because I believe everybody should be left to do their own thing, right? But again, we all have, if you look at your passport right now, it's an East African passport. Wherever you go, and people were made to even leave other countries to come back to Kenya to get that East African passport. Yet they had a valid passport, and it was so hard to get it. But the thing is that what I'm trying to tell you is that is sharing an economical zone, whether with the waters and the lands that we do live in. That's why people had an agreement. Even in the art of war, if you're in a war and you surrender, they don't kill you. Why? They have to give you food and everything and support you. So basically, it's just like let me talk about Kenya. In Kenya, I think Kakuma was or is still the biggest refugee camp. Why? Because of that agreement of art of war and art of all countries, how we're going to live together. So, and that is why we have something like EU, AU, we have UN, which is now I hear is trying to be sent to Kenya, and we have this NATO thing. And it's just an agreement of how people are going to live together. But then again, you come and realize that if then Kenya wants to be Kenya by itself, then Kenya can be it. But stay, it's fine. Take it out. Brexit, UK took itself out of it with Margaret. I mean, the lady. They took themselves out of it. Stay yourself, which is what is happening. Kila mtu basi akae kwake. And then now we start talking about, do not come to our borders. We're not going to come to your borders. But if the world is going to live together, then some things have to change. And some things have to be said. I don't know if I made my point.
And I hope you can read what Father Didi has told you. The thing that US is doing is they just want to leave that agreement that was made by Biden. That is the only thing they need. That's why I told you there is no interest of Kenya at heart. Wanataka kutoa hiyo kitu inaitwa na NATO ally. That is what they are doing. You know, we know Donald Trump what he's doing. He's trying to undo all the things that were done by Joe Biden. You know, even that issue I was reading about it the other day. It's not something that is on paper written. Hiyo ni kitu tu, it was made by an executive order, so it can be removed by an executive order. It's not something that ati imewekwa ati pale permanently ati lazima wataenda Senate kuvote on it. If Trump says they are coming, that's why they are pretending they're investigating. There is no investigations or anything that is going to come out of conclusion. They're just going to say that we should stop this NATO ally. We don't even see the need of it. We are just spending money. And it started with Haiti. If I don't think you remember, Mato. Ilianza after Donald Trump ameingia, alianza kusema kuhusu Haiti. I don't know if you remember that. Alianza kusema what was the agreement?
Can we agree on something between me and you? You know that was a bad mistake, and the government, the Kenyan government, has stayed very low on this. Because can you tell me how many people are still in Haiti? Because I know the numbers. If there's anyone left in Haiti, those police. Can you tell me how many people you know that are still in Haiti?
I don't know about that operation, because even nothing is told of that. That's why I'm saying I think Donald Trump is trying to remove all these status that has been there, because even those things are not the executive orders that were made by Biden. They were made even in hidden, in secrecy. Even there's some things you cannot know. How were the policemen from Kenya taken to Haiti? Under what law were they taken to Haiti? Because Kenyan police, I did not even understand how they took Kenya police from Kenya to Haiti, because that thing even was supposed to be, if they were saying the rapid forces, we could be understanding because they do their special operations outside the country, but they say they are going to take our policemen. So all this is about Trump kutaka tu kutoa Kenya as a NATO ally. Isi mambo mingi, don't read into it at the investigations and in. It will amount to nothing. We are here with you, Mato. You will see after 1 month, we are here with you. There is nothing which will amount to this. You just hear Trump saying that
on the Haiti situation. I stand with Trump every day of my life, because we don't. I mean, they went there without even an exit strategy. I mean, these guys. I mean, let me tell you something. Well, let me just ask you. I hate saying try to tell someone, because that might look like I know too much. But I might not. But here's the thing. When you go into a war, into like like when the US went into Afghanistan, they had the ships. They knew how to take someone out of there if you're hurt. Already we've lost people in Haiti. Guess what? These guys flew with Delta. When you're going to somewhere to war or something like that, you don't fly with commercial aircrafts. You fly with your own military, because they can take you out of that war. They can I forget the word. They can wanaweza kutoa huko hivyo kama umeumia ama kuna kitu kama hiyo, but you don't go. I mean, this whole thing is a game, man. It's just, it's messed up. Sijui kama unanielewa, because you don't even, I mean, Haiti, seriously, and he doesn't even, this president of yours doesn't even say anything about that Haiti that's gone because tumetenga, tumepanga, tumeweka. I got it. He's the Minister of Defense, he's the Minister of sijui nini, he's the Minister of Agriculture, he's the Minister of everything. He knows it all. And that is the problem that we are having. Sasa the other day he was talking about tukusumbua mapresident wengine hivyo. Why kwa nini tunakusumbua wewe? Kibaki alituibia kura mchana asubuhi na akajiapisha kwa State House. But at least he was doing, I mean, if you're going to steal something, go back and do something so that people are not doing. Why do you think we have the streets fighting? We have just, everything is just haywire, even including our Gashagua. You never, time of Kibaki, hata after Mejibia, even Uhuru venye waliiba pamoja na yeye. Did you see them? I mean, did you see people coming to talk outside there in the, you know, in the world and saying that tumelemewa? Look at Mother Karua was here, Matiang'i is here, and stuff like that. Did we even see before them too Uhuru na huyo na mtu wenyu nani Ruto? Did you see ICC? Did we even know ICC? Why are we so concerned right now? Because something is not right. If you're not doing something right, something is happening. But then we also know that we're dealing with a criminal. And then the person that we thought would defend us, even him, but you can give him maybe a mezeeka, he's not making the right decisions. He's there pia na yeye anaingia huko hivyo anasema pia yeye ana support huyo mtu sijui. I don't know which office he owns, and that I'm talking about Baba Fidel. I don't call him Baba anymore. I loved that guy, but even if yeye ameenda haya, huyo Rengo mwingine ndio tunasikia vitu hivi, maybe anaweza kuwa alikuwa poisoned. I'm not saying that he was. It's something of the sort. I mean, the whole thing is in a mess. Okay, and the last thing before I keep quiet, since regime, what exactly physically can you touch that you can say has come from this regime, rather than being given millions and being given whatever and too many things of standing on top of the cars? Me, I can tell you, Kibaki, we can talk about Thika Highway. Uhuru, we can talk about the super highway. What else? I mean, so many things we can talk about these other two people, but this one so far, we are closing up. We are about to get into what do you call campaign season next. I mean, according to what IEBC is. And remember, me, I'm a person that has cases of recall. They've already wametuangusha, wamesema you cannot recall. And I had 4 cases of recall. The clause that is actually in the Constitution. What can you tell me about this government that kitu yote moja tu, Mr. Kimbili, moja yenye imefanyika? Even the school that they want to take the free education out. I mean, it's nonsense. But anyway, I'll be here if you have any questions. But what one thing can you tell me this government has done of this guy, if he's not a cartel hiding in power and with an open case of ICC?
I'm sorry, Makobura, we have been it throughout. So just take the charge because we have been talking.
It's okay. You know, I actually came a little bit late, so I'm not so sure of everything that you guys talked about. Maybe also give Miguda a chance to give his take on what you guys are speaking about, and then I'll come back to you, Joseph, utuongoze kwa sababu sijui nani alikuwa wa kwanza, Miguda ama wewe. I'm not so sure about everything you guys have talked about.
It was Miguda. Let him continue. He was the first one.
Yeah, so Miguda, just join and you can now You can now proceed with the questioning. Good, are you there?
I'm here, but of course I came earlier, but I don't know how we'll do it. But I just want to also contribute a little bit concerning the issue of Matras just as a very sensitive issue of convention. That's because Joseph was asking the question of jurisdiction. And we understand we are the member state of the United Nations as Kenya and American also. We subscribe to the United Nations Convention. And under the United Nations Convention, there are some principal organs like the Permanent Security Council and also the International Court of Justice and the Secretariat, Trustees. But when we had a crisis in the country, the 2007-2008 post-election violence, we invited one of the United Nations Secretariat. That by that time he was Kofi Annan, who came and mediate between the ODM and the PNU. But whenever we are faced the crisis like for instance, the crimes against humanity, we usually seek our advancement to the International Criminal Court. So I think it's a matter of convention. That is what can link us with the United States of America. Not a matter of jurisdiction because we are too apart. But when it comes to convention, we subscribe to the United Nations. And that's why sometimes you find out that those issues like criminals are admitted to the ICC, some shall be sorry. But what is at stake right now, to me, I just want to agree with both of you that it is the issue of NATO ally. They just want to scrape it out, but they want to the Congress to do it. So that one is a bit different with the convention, and they can do it because they're the people who gave us that member state. They gave us through executive order. If they want to revoke it, so be it. So it should be a different thing. Makobura, just to also allow you to proceed with the questions, we were just focusing on the issue of we were focusing on the issue of why Gashagua has been the person setting the pace for the conversation politically in the country, whereby if he made a statement, it can take the entire week being discussed in parliament, being discussed in the empowerment rally, being discussed in the funeral, like what happened to him at Phoebe's funeral, and also the issue of him being arrested when he's back to the country. And that is number two. The first one is the issue of him setting the narrative. Number two, the issue of him being arrested to record the statement at the DCIO. And also, we were focusing on the issue of Kindiki, that Kindiki role in the broad-based government. Is he going to be stationed in Mount Kenya, or he gonna go beyond Mount Kenya? What is the impact of him and against Gashagua? I think now that is what we were focusing. So I think you can come in and try to discuss which one you haven't discussed. I think the first one, but as we have discussed it. Also, we started by the issue of Harambee Stars, and Mato has given me a different angle, and actually tomorrow I'll come back. I'm going to do my research, Mato. The issue of money laundering. I like that topic. It's a very interesting topic, and I want to go and find out actually, other than the issue of kuwapatia wachezaji wetu motisha na rais, I want to go and find out at all if there is money laundering going on. And I think tomorrow I'll come back with a very, very good contribution about it, because I'm carrying out that money laundering thing. So because I never saw it, but actually you have aided me to actually look at it in a certain lens, that could it be money laundering going on with these Harambee Stars things? But on the issue of giving them support, giving them money, that one I support, because you understand they are being underpaid, and also the lifestyle of players. You understand, even in English Premier League, other leagues, the lifestyle of players are quite different from the lifestyle of our local players. So if they can be given that money within this duration, be it coming from Mr. President's pocket or coming from our taxes, me, I support it. Understanding that if they must get it on that way. So, Makubura, I think I'll proceed.
Take your pen and think about this. It's 2.5. There's 11 players at a certain game, right? So take 2.5 so far because they have 2 wins.
Not actually 11 players, because I remember he said that even wale wako kwa bench.
Okay, yeah, that's where I was going. Thank you so much, Makobura. Because sasa ongeza when you are kwa bench, because now you're not just gonna pay. Now you're just not gonna pay the 11. You also gonna pay the ones on the bench because there are subs. And then I know tumekuwa na red card mbili. That's fine. You might say so when you wamepigwa red pia wapati hiyo, but just take the whole team 2.5 per game. I mean for the 2.5. And how many they are, and then keep on doing that math every time. I'm telling you, this is a scandal and this is money laundering right here.
Matondakas, hautaki vijana waomoke?
No, sina shida na bado ukumbuke bado wanalipagwa ile, si wanalipagwa nini? Si they're on payroll.
Payroll ya nani?
Kwani watu wanaenda kucheza bure? Si wanakuwaga wamelipwa hata tizi.
Ndio ninauliza, what do you understand the cap that you are playing, Mato?
I understand it very well. I'm just saying, just do your math of this because this is an.
Where are these players coming from? Or why are we playing Chan in the country? Because that is a question I need to ask you before we come to the question.
Listen, we've been playing since Siku Zikwe. I mean, we even have the Rambe Starlets. We've been playing. We have when you go to, what do you call this? Why do we do Olympics? Why do we do all these other things? People are getting paid. But now here comes a president that is telling you that I'll pay you $1 million. I mean, $1 million shillings every match you win, and every draw that you win, I'm going to pay you 500. Now, who's paying this?
You know the problem, Mato, I'm trying to stop to refuse with your argument is we always appreciate the athletics when they come home. So and we never question where the money is coming from. I've never had anybody asking kwa nini akina Faith and akina Kipchoge they are given the money that they are given by the government, but you are questioning the money that is given to the footballers.
Here's the thing, bro. Let me just counter you real quick. This thing, when someone goes and gets a gold medal out there, is paid the same thing that my friend has said. Just say it here that it's an agreement and it's a contribution between countries where we're going to have this and they're going to get a gold medal is worth this from the agreement between countries, and they contribute towards that.
Mato, now, you are not here when Akina Burao are going to speak to us.
I, as the president, is going to pay you 1 million. Yet we know you get that 1 million as your salary. Listen, if it's not money laundering, then you're dumb. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that specific.
You know why I asked you those questions, Mato? Because I need to tell you what is Chan we are playing. You know, Chan is players who play in clubs of a country. They are called up. These are not international players. They are players who are playing in local leagues like Tusker, Mathare, and so Shabana and Gor Mahia and sort of you. So you want to tell me those players are given enough salaries when they are playing for their clubs in Gor Mahia and Tusker and sort of the clubs that now they are enough with the salary that they are being given wakicheza hizo Premier League. You know, the problem that has been happening in football in the country.
In Italy hotel, who pays you in Italy hotel? It's a job. You want to play and you're getting paid. Now,
you know the problem is, Mato, we like to watch the European football, some of us. And you know, in the European football, they are always given those incentives, the ones that they are being given now. The teams like Manchester United, the players, they are always given motivation by those incentives they are given. It's not all about your salary.
Wait. Incentives. Bro, do you understand that there's also something that is called entrance fee. This
And,
time,
and, and, and Mr. Perspective has told you the same thing I wanted to tell you. The money is not coming from Ruto. We were told it's coming from the sport kitty. That is the information we were given. So that is the information I'm going with, because I don't know where we have seen Ruto removing his money. I've had it coming from
he
the sport
said he was the one going to pay them. Nawapatia milioni moja, mkishinda milioni moja kila mtu.
Mato.
Yes, sir.
So sorry for intervening, but you know, actually, because you know, like, let us be very perspective when we are looking into this, because I want to take also comparison with Tanzania. Tanzania are doing the same thing that president is doing, you know. So I know maybe sometimes we might be having different views, especially when it comes to president. But I think like when it comes to what the president is doing, actually we should encourage him to do that.
And also, my brother Benson, I want to answer Gypsy Corner. The athletics are always given money when they come to the country. I saw one instance I recorded of athletics being given money from State House. That is one incident. It is not even far. It's last year. So why are they not complaining when the athletics are given this some amount of money, but when footballers are given, it's a big nini. And also in the other countries, we can see them still being given. Tunaona Uganda wakiwapatia Tanzania. So that
Tanzania
question is.
I'm asking you guys, I'm asking a very simple question. I mean, a mathematical question. Very nice. 1 + 1 is 2. Please,
is
it
two.
can never be 3.
Yes.
Okay. Where is this money coming from?
Okay, this is what now we have also to ask ourselves, because even if it is coming from president himself, let's say take it that is coming from the president himself, maybe for the love he have for his country, because is motivating the players. Why should we also question the money that Samia Suluhu is giving the players? Where is that money coming from? Because all of them are presidents and they're doing this to the players. Why is it that we have to question the one for the president? If you were to go that way, the Tanzanians are not questioning where the one for Samia is coming from.
But you're not asking, you're not answering that question. Where is this money coming from? From the president's kitty? From what? Or where is it coming from?
We were told from the sports kitty, Mato, and I've been telling you here. So the problem is we don't know where. We cannot confirmly say that it is coming from the sports kitty because we are not in the current ministries. But what the information you are being given by the government, they are saying it's coming from the sports kitty.
Yes.
That is what we know.
So maybe if somebody might be having contrary opinion and have the evidence can show us, okay, this is where this money is coming from. So I think to me, I might be wrong, but like sometimes we disagree with the management of the president, or we've questioned sometimes where the money that is contributed. But to this, especially when it comes to sports that unite us together without political affiliation, I think I would want them to have that, because like when you look at even the status of our players, some of them, they've been playing for quite a long time, and it has not.
And Brother Benson, with all due respect, you know how much I respect you.
Yeah.
For the longest time, we've had the Kenyan sports entities complaining that you remember sometime, I think it was 2-3 years, where they couldn't even afford to make, to bring our our competitors and our sports people back to Kenya, and they had to sleep, I think, if I'm not wrong, at the airport. Thank you. So they apparently did not have that kind of money to even book a flight for them. And then all of a sudden now, while all the rumors around are like, there's a lot of money laundering moving on, then all of a sudden now we have these incentives for them. But this even the organizations that we have for our sportsmen, which we are very proud of them, but even when they get a gold medal, they come back like this Faith, the lady who was broken, I think, for world records. She's paid by the organization, the international organization, but when she comes home, there's even nobody to receive them at the airport. But all of a sudden now we have it. But do you get what I'm trying to say? I hope you get the gist of it.
Joseph. Yeah, so I think that's a question that people have been asking, and maybe what we should do is to wait and wait for a clear clarification. I know it's one of those things that the people of Kenya have been asking. So far, I don't think there's any clarity that has come from the ministry, because I remember the first time they were given the money, the people really came out to ask where the money was coming, and there were some issues which were coming in which were actually not clarified, but some of them were saying it was coming from the ministry, but the questioning again was which they were using which formula to give the money. And those are things which are not clear, but with time I think we'll get the clarity. But again, there is a lot of questions on how the amount that is being given, what really justifies that. So those are some questions that we are waiting to hear a clarity from the ministry and of course from the team, the president. My perspective is saying the president wanted to take the credit, but the money is coming from sport ministry. However, money can be channeled from the office of the president through sports ministry. It is governance.
Brother Mark,
Yes.
I wanted Brother Martin to answer me the question I asked. Does he think those players, they are paid enough as they work as they play football in the leagues, in the Kenya Premier League? That is the question I wanted to be answered by Mato.
Yes, I'm going to answer you. I just finished. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just welcoming you to give your answer, Mato.
Oh, thank you. Obviously, these players have been, they get a salary, right? And that's the thing that we're also looking under. We are not, they don't get paid to, by the president. That 1 million is, again, on a good note, that would be an incentive, something extra, okay? But they do get paid to play. There's been a problem, a systematic problem of payment of our athletes and even the soccer guys. There's been a problem where they have to wait for a long time because some of these guys are career sportsmen, and that's how they make their money. It's not something that it's not a hobby that you go work and then you go. There's some people who they train every day. They know where to pass. I was listening to Ghost Mule. Remember, he used to be the coach, talking, saying, yeah, we agree, but man, you guys need to work on actually their own salary themselves. And they've lived on their salaries. Keep Chonge and all of them. They do get paid on their own. The only contention here is, and I'm not saying it's wrong to give them incentives, but we never do. Somebody will go out there, break a world record, but they are paid by not even Kenya. Let me give a good case study. Kipchoge Keino, when he broke that 2-hour mile thing, he was paid mostly by Nike. Nike. And the people and the other companies, suffice to say, that were there, Adidas and everything. Kenya never gave him anything.
And Mato, to add on what you're saying,
yeah.
How many athletics have changed their nationality from Kenya?
Exactly.
Why are they changing the nationality? Because that is the real question in the book.
Thank you. because they're moving to other countries. And you can see this is somebody that you know is a Kenyan, but he's going to play. I mean, to do for another country, because what? Is not the incentives in his own country is not enough. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. By the way, and let me make my record clear. Come out, I know we are not it, but let the answer get me clear. I'm not saying it's bad to give incentives to our country. I mean, to our countrymen. I'm just saying, let's be careful and look at where this money is coming from and who is paying it, what kitty is there. And let's sit down. Remember, last year we went through a whole thing about the budget. At what budget did we look and we saw how much was allocated to that to the sports during our budget making? How much was allocated to the sports? And if we calculate and find that budget fits to pay 2.5 million so far for every or just the 11 at our channel na bench for that, then we will go back, and I want you guys to listen to me very carefully. We will go back and ask ourselves, hizo zingine huko nyuma kama ilikuwa inafika tunaweza lipa mtu for every score, I mean for every win 2.5 so far for 3 games. If we were able to pay that, then where did that money go? Hizo zingine zilipita because they were never given that. So if we can give them now, so that means then we've always had this budget. And that's where we're talking about money laundering. That's where my money laundering come in, because kama haiko kwa budget, imetoka wapi? Back to you.
Joseph, were you answered?
No, Mato has not still answered the question now. Because it's okay, it's okay. This thing we can debate till
directly basi nisikimbie mbali nikuulize tu kweli. Nami nikujibu.
You know, there is no day that the government is going to tell you where the money is coming from. And officially the money is coming from the taxpayers we are paying, the taxes we are paying. There is no even question about that. Ni pesa zetu zinatumika. That is one thing we need to know. There is no money that Ruto is using his money. Hapo ni pesa zetu zinatumika. So is either you are feeling infringed about using our taxes to pay the players, or give them incentives, or another thing. But I think the money is coming from our taxes. Definitely, is the money that we remove. And me, you know why I'm supporting that thing? I'm supporting that thing because those guys, I know the kind of money and allowances they are given when they are playing football in the leagues. And that's why you see so many of the players. We have even one player who left Kenya just the other day. His name is Bajaber. I know you know him. He left Kenya when we were playing the CHAN and went to Taifa Stars. No, not Taifa Stars. He went to a team in Tanzania because he's seen there is going to be given good salary and good allowances. Because our league is failing. We need to agree one thing. Our league has failed in appreciating our players. They are not paid any amount of money. So when they see a chance where they can, and that's why you see even when they are playing their hearts out, because they know after all this is said and done, like let's say they win the game against Zambia, they'll be 5 million rich. What if they go and win the quarterfinals? They are going to be going to the semis. They have already been told they are going to be given a housing program of two. The housing program, they are going to be given a house with 2 bedrooms. What if they go an extra mile and win the semi-finals? They are going to be having a house with 3 bedrooms. What we need to know is what we need to stay with as us is this thing should be given to them, because they are players. They are people who are coming from vulnerable families. First, if you checked at the family of the guy called Austin Odhiambo, and all the families, even the one who scored yesterday, who scored Ogambe. If you go and look at them, they are coming from what we say decent families. So when I feel them, they are being encouraged, and they are young boys. So there is nobody who is old there. Nani unaona ako mzee hapo. All of them, they are kids of 21, 22. I think the oldest there can be 27 there. All of them, they are of this hii tunaitaga Gen Z. They are trying to make it. And what I want to say is, if you are given this thing as incentives, and that's why I'm saying it does not only stop on Harambee Stars. We should give those incentives to each and every person who is performing well in Kenyan championship across the divide. I saw even Malkia Stars, they're in the finals. They're supposed to be given incentive because of what they have done.
I agree with you. The incentive is good. Me, I'm okay with that. The only thing is that I just want to talk to you after this thing is all done. If you will not see a scandal of somebody did not get paid, or the linesman or something, I'm gonna save this, and this is personal to me. I will look for you personally to talk about this. If you will not see people who are not paid, first of all, do you even know if anybody has been given the first million?
Yeah, they have already said, they have spoken themselves and said they have been given the money, 1.5. And also one thing I always say, in sports, Kenya in sports right now, I've not heard of any complaints of people not paid salaries. Or so far, sijasikia from from this new federation, the guys Swale and Mariga. I've not heard any complaints about the player. Have you heard any player saying that wameenda, even not now? We are starting to say Chan. You know, these guys, they were playing in closed doors in Uganda, and where they were qualifying for AFCON, and they were being paid. I never heard any person saying that the flight has been delayed. They have stayed in the airport. The things that we were seeing on every time, wamekataa kulipo mishahara, wengi wao wamelala. You know, even those are the things that were making even Kenyan to be beaten all the time.
Joseph, we are having a one-on-one conversation, but I know our brother is still here. But let me ask you a question. How many games have been played this year? And just don't talk about soccer alone. Go over with even yeah.
For all games that have been played, there are so many games. Even if you include rugby and all the sorts of things that have been done. But do you know, even the rugby players were being given incentives in the time of Uhuru? Uhuru had forgotten about football. He was giving rugby incentives. I remember those guys. You know, Uhuru was a rugby player. He was from St. Mary's. So I see he was so close with the rugby players than the footballers. So if this president is closer to the football players, I don't think there is any fault, because I saw also Uhuru calling the rugby players, and they played some kind of tackles there in the State House. So the games have been played too much, and it has not started now. I've been telling you, I've been watching these games. There was a game that was played for the AFCON qualifiers, the World Cup qualifiers. There was Gabon game. There were so many games that were being played outside because our stadiums were not even playable. I remember, you know, the stadiums by February, by last year, even they were not playable. They were, the CAF rules were saying it is not approved. They were playing these games outside, and you know, when they were playing this game, because the football had been halted in the time of Uhuru. Football ilishikwa wakati ya Uhuru, na wakasema na CAF ikatupatia hatuwezi cheza michezo. Football was just introduced the other day after being banned in 2022. So after that, I'm for sure, I'm going to tell you the truth. Sijasikia any player akiteta ati kaenda kwa airport waka miss flight, ama wameenda kwa hoteli wakapata hoteli. The only instance I had was the one for Tanzania, and that one, Sekafa, the one they were playing Sekafa, they tended to come back because even the facilities they were given by the authorities in Tanzania, they were not of good condition to them, and we can tunaweza elewa jirani vile ametuweka, we can understand these things. So for the footballing in our country, it has been on a good trajectory, what I can say, because even the FKF in Kenya.
So I get you. Me, like I said again, don't get me wrong. I'm not first of all, I know I mean, we've had so many of our athletes and even, people in the sports sleeping in airports and not getting their money and complaining, but nobody hears it. And that's how we sacked the last guy. But when we're talking about this, when I do my math, is like at least 20 people in a team, right? Including the
No,
bench.
there are 38 people.
Huh?
There are 38 people because you're including the bench, the staff in the bench. They're about
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah. Thank you even for putting it to 38. I was trying to round it out to where Malita Kambaya Sana. But so, okay, so 30 million, 30 million. Let's just talk about 30. You know what, Umusema 38, I'm going to round it up to 40. So 40 million per game. And on top of that, the salaries, because they're still getting the salaries. So where would you put it at? At least 100 million, right, per game?
Yeah, for now I can put it at 100 million, maybe 120.
120?
Yeah.
Per game. All right. At the same time, we are having issues that the capitation of school is not there. And that 120 we are talking without their salaries, which their salaries is a constant. So we're still talking about schools. And this is a guy that is just coming and saying, Nitawapea. But then again, there's no budget for it. That's my biggest problem, Joseph. There's no budget. It's not there. But all of a sudden in the parliament and everywhere, we're being told the budget is not working. Even Buddy comes and tells us the budget cannot work. I mean, we don't have any money. We are on a negative and all that. And we cannot even school our people. So that maybe I'm not saying that in the essence of saying that it's something that I'm putting my foot on. I'm actually asking you to educate me why this president can actually be able or can actually promise this whole money and everything, but he cannot. Okay, even when you go back to Chapati, the Chapati nonsense, where is the Chapati now? He couldn't even pay those Chapati things, but he's there. And then all of a sudden, after he does that, then he comes back. And to go back, you have the mood Batatu doing thing of his son, and yeah, they have all that kind of money. And I mean, it's just, for me, it's just out of my head. I can't get it. I don't know who his advisors is. I don't know where he gets the money that he promises everywhere. And remember, he's already promised so much on top of his car. If his car has a record, he's promised so much. Oh, tumetenga, nimeweka, bilioni sijui ngapi, billion. Yani, I've even nowadays kind of found millions to be very pesa kidogo sana, because he's always talking about billions. And coincidentally, everything is even numbers. Even and just to bring this back to the politics, and so forgive me for speaking too much, but even to that kijana, by the way, I even had to send him a message personally. The kijana that told him, umesema umetuma 400 million, no, 400,000 people outside waenda wakafanye kazi within 2 years. And he did that calculation very well, which would mean what? There's a Boeing 77, two of them, because they carry 235 people, sitting at the airport to take them into different locations to go work. So for me, I guess Harambee Stars should get their money, but when you look at the politics, is Ruto just wants to do everything, and that's why he had the Gen Z, or bringing people to show that he has the Gen Z into State House, And eventually, most of them went home still singing one term, and they didn't even take the sodas. Zilikuwa zinawekwa kwa takataka. Money wasted. Just to show himself, because now he knows vitu zimemana na hakuna mtu, even his own brother, whatever he calls him, his brother. Nobody's even listening to Raila. Nobody cares. And Ruto is really, really in a fight to endear himself to the Kenyan population, which is not happening. And the international world is also looking at it. I don't know what you think about that. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. Joseph?
Thank you. This conversation, I think this one we cannot be able to answer today. Just ask some other things, Mark.
Very well. Unajua sikutaka kuwa nini kwa I didn't want to stop the conversation so that because I know this is a national thing, of course. These are some of the questions which people are asking. It's unfortunate that there are no really clear answers to these questions. But we hope, the only problem in Kenya is that things are just done without clarity. I also support the fact that those young boys needed to be supported. And to me, I really thank God that at least they are now millionaires. It's a good thing. Some of them, I mean, their life has changed. And that is what we want in a country. But the question that is being asked is, personally, I actually do not have any problem whether the money was taken from the people's taxes or whichever area. It is okay. But for issues of transparency, I think the government has a role. That is why we have a government in place. They are like accountants. They're supposed to be doing things which are, can be traceable. Because if you don't do so, the reason why there are so many questions is because the way governments have been run, the way money has been used in a way that is not clear, those are part of the reasons why siku hizi pesa ikitoka tu hata kidogo tu hivi, the people of Kenya are demanding, and it's a good thing. That shows that Wakenya wako rada, they are aware, and as much as things have not been working, they are still not losing hope. They are alert, wako macho na wanatambua ya kwamba mali yao lazima ilindwe, and transparency has to be there. And so that's a good thing. I like the fact that it's something that the people of Kenya are talking about. Yeah, so maybe something else that I would like to to hear your take on is the issue of Edwin. I mean, there was this issue of leaders, the opposition side, of course, led by Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa. That was the day before yesterday. They held a press, and part of what they said is that the government is not going on the right direction in terms of leadership. And they called Sifuna, who is the Secretary General of ODM, to actually resign and join the opposition. And then Sifuna also had visited a place in Kitui. It was actually a rally that was held by the senator of Kitui, whom I understand is also interested in vying for the governorship of that county. While there, Sifuna was really welcomed and, of course, told that he should come join the opposition if there is no space for him in the broad-based or whichever formation that ODM is involved in. So my question to you is, when Sifuna was given a chance, he did spoke and he said that them he still stood his stance and he's saying that they're not in government. And if somebody tells him that he should go side anything about broad-based, he will simply leave on that particular day. What is your take, Brother Joseph? And then I'll give Matopia a chance. Do you think, because I remember Sifuna saying that the Kalonzo Musyoka stood with them, and he was trying to refer to when Kalonzo stood with Raila in 2013, in 2017, and for that reason he said that Azimio is still intact, and in his own words he's saying that the only person that yeye anatambua ni Raila Amolo Odinga na Stephen Kalonzo kama wagogo, the biggest brothers within the opposition side. And he's saying wanapanga mambo zao coming for 2027. Brother Joseph, what is your take on that?
I think these are politicians just playing their politics, Brother Mark. And Sifuna has known the art of politics also, and he knows clearly how to play it, because if he's saying he's not, or they are saying they're supposed to get out of the government, or they are saying he's not in government, then I think he's supposed to believe in the party that is saying they are in government. I heard Raila saying, true, they are supporting the government till the end. So I think this is just politics, and the politics will just be played from now till 2027, till the nini is blown, till to pick elections. Because even today I've been seeing this guy Simba Arati telling Matiang'i join Serikali. So these are politics. They are being played like that, and I don't think Kenya politics from the time we started they have ever stopped. They are still going on, and this is something that politicians, they play these games, we know them. So watasema tuko tunafaa kujoin, others hapana sitajoin. So they are still negotiating under the table, wanapatanaga usiku sometimes when they talk about these things. So for me saying that about Sifuna kama anataka kuoneshana vizuri yuko kwa hiyo serikali, he should not be inside also the party that he's in. He's supposed to be outside and saying that sasa anapigana na hii outfit iko ndani hii outfit nzima, but him saying that wako kwa serikali. So who do we listen to? Do we listen to Raila, the party leader, or the secretary general? That is a confusing affair.
Okay, thank you. Mato, wasemaji?
Baba, you see, me and you and Joseph here, the way we look at politics is different from those politicians who are up there. One thing is that me personally, spendanga kusema kitu, but I know Sifuna personally. Niko na namba yake. Sometimes we talk. But it's hard to get these people. Now, let me just say this. Sifuna is like me and you. Na sisi wenye tuko hapa hivi. He's tired of this nonsense. When you listen to Sifuna, do not listen it. And he warned me one day, akaniambia, kuna politics, which is a whole bullshit lie, that you can get away with everything. But then there's also the reality of life and reality of leadership. Sifuna is uncomfortable in ODM. And he said it himself. I'm not going to speak for him. He said it. Niko ready kutoka mimi, hii kitu kama mtaki ni yako. He's spoken against Baba so many times on national TV. And he goes straight up. Because at some time, even in your own personal life, there comes a time when you're dealing with nonsense and you're like, this is nonsense. It's the reason Kenya tuko mali tuko. So for Sifuna, I'm a Kamba, but I'm not going to go on Kalonzo's side. Me, I don't know mtu anafanyanga nini. I don't even care. But one of the two politicians, I mean, I don't even want to call them politicians because I called one a politician and I know these two people. I called one politician, akaniambia usiniite politician, mimi ni Mkenya. Someone like Babu, yes, akona makosa zake, but their stand is their stand. Sifuna is just a ticking time bomb waiting to move out and go and do his own thing. He doesn't even care about this thing as much as people think that he cares. He's in the point where, like we are talking now, ako chini to where he just wants to talk about the reality, because there's this thing about politicians that even they feel they are immune to anything. Sifuna is just a realist. I stand by that man with everything I have in my life. And that's how I moved out of ODM. The day I moved out of ODM and signed off my membership from ODM, I even told him, and he said, we Ndaga, unajua mimi acha kwanza nijaribu kupigana nikiwa huku ndani. This we need to stop the politics, and because politics is a lie. It's an open lie. But then come back to reality. And the more we get some politicians that like Ledamo Lekina, I don't know now him sijui aliyokuwa kona gani, because some of them you're fearing Raila, you're fearing Ruto, you're fearing Uhuru Kenyatta, but we have to come back. And this is what Kina Sifuna have realized. Someone like Sifuna. Earlier when I came in, I said, we don't know who the opposition is or who we're going to choose if it's not Ruto. But how I hope someone like Sifuna can go even independent. We will get him asubuhi na mapema. Any mosquito that is coming. So for Sifuna, to answer your question, my brother, I think just let it happen. Just watch it, look at it, and Kalonzo has been there too much. We don't even need him. We don't want him. I mean, we don't want these career politicians. But for someone like Sifuna, I think Sifuna is okay. He knows what he's saying. And soon he will say more. And some people will start saying, even the Wamushombas, people who you don't have to agree with just because Baba Fidel amekwambia nini. No, Baba Fidel, you can say whatever you want to say. We're not following you anymore. And that is where the country is right now. So let the Kina Sifunas who can inject kutoka ndani, let them inject. The same thing, I go back to Gashagua. Let them inject whatever it is, because they're not really injecting, they're saying the reality of what we never used to say, and the reason we are still a third world country, or considered a third world country. Mimi, my brother, Sifuna, wachana naye afanye vitu zake. It's just the way, wachana Gachagua afanye vitu zake. And there's more to come. Wengi wanakuja, wako wengi, they're waiting. They're waiting for the moment. So I don't know if I have an answer other than what I've said about Sifuna. Wachana na Sifuna. Sifuna hata saizi wanajaribu kumgonga ODM nini wewe, sijui Oburu Odinga trying to beat, kumwambia you have to toe the line, but he's refused. He wants to say the reality, what we are talking here. And we need more people like that, not politicians, people who can actually call a wrong and not politics. Back to you, brother.
Okay, thank you so much, Mato. You've brought something here that I wanted to just hear your take, the two of you. The issue of you've consistently seen the call by the youths coming out, consistently going for demonstration, coming out to criticize public leaders, Up to this point, do you think these young politicians, together with the youths who have been coming out for demonstration, who have been coming out, who have shown interest in political seats, do you think they can join hands to an extent that they can take the full leadership of the country, ignoring the senior political leaders, just like you did say the career political leaders? Joseph, is there a possibility that such a thing can happen at these times? And then Mato will give his take as well.
Brother Mark, can you repeat the question, please? I was engaged.
Yeah, Mato has just said that we are tired, according to I'm just quoting him, that we are tired of these career politicians. And that is what is taking me to this question. Do you think the young politicians, the likes of Sifuna, Babowino, Ndindi Nyoro, do you think they, at this particular time, if they join hands, they can get full support of the young people, especially those who have been consistently going to the streets? That is ignoring the senior political class. For example, the likes of Raila, the likes of Kalonzo, the likes of Ruto. Can they be put aside and with a lot of courage from the young political class, forming a political party that can, take them home? Do you think we've gotten to that point?
What I know, Brother Mark, all these legendary, or what we call old politicians, the kind of calibers we have of old politicians, what Mark is saying, Mato is saying, I think all of them should go, but where are we going to start? You cannot just remove them at once, wake up in the morning and say, Mati, what wataenda. It's some will remain. But what we need to do is we need to start with us. Even though always what I ask myself, yes, we are going to say all of them to go Nisawa. I support that. Then what are we bringing into the table then? Because let us not be tunasema the old politicians are going, then we don't have a way of when you change all the systems and say cleaning the swamp, so it's very good, but we can be draining a swamp and bringing another swamp that is even more dangerous. So my always thinking is, let us do it systematically, slowly, not slowly vile. Like in this election, let us do with some of them to ondoe kadha. If we want to remove them, then we can do that's why I was saying in another podcast, I said 2032 I think is when we are going to have a change, an overall change, because an overhaul in the change of the leadership in Kenya. Because 2032 we are going to be having people who have already been introduced into all these sectors like parliament, all these Gen Zs, you're going to see them. And that's why I don't, like right now, Mr. Mark, let me ask you a question. Which party are you seeing they are fielding Gen Zs as candidates? Which party have you seen? We have by-elections that are coming. What are you hearing them talking about? Are you seeing like they are going to field Gen Z as candidates? Because we always say we are supporting the Gen Z. So are you seeing people fielding Gen Zs as candidates this time in their political parties for the by-elections? So if this is going to happen like that, are you seeing like in 2027, the Gen Z are going to be fielded in as candidates in these political parties? Because most of them you have seen, like, I can talk about many political parties, starting with ODM, UDA, this other one, DCP, Jubilee, all of them. Just go and check at the number of Gen Zs that are in that political party, and given the rank that they are running, you find them, they are just given a rank of a youth leader. You never hear them being given ranks of secretary general and so sort of things. So even if we are draining the swamp, I think it's more profitable with the people. We vote for these Gen Zs in 2027, so that, and if we are removing Ruto, because even I know if we remove Ruto, we are going to remove him, yes, and we are going to still have some people who are still old guards. So my point is always, the time that we are going to have a wake-up call and drive this swamp, all of it, I think is 2032. That is my thinking.
Mato?
I agree with my brother Joseph here, but the thing is that where I disagree with him, not really disagree, kind of have a different perspective. I agree with everything he said. It's just that the 2032 is where I'm not lining up with him. Where the oligarchs are gonna go, given, and I'm telling you, this thing started when we started having independent candidates. Why do we have independent candidates? Is because, hey, I am Mato. I don't agree with ODM. I don't agree with Jubilee. I don't agree with whatever you want to bring it. Chama Shinani or whatever you want to bring. I don't agree. I go to independent. And as when you look at the gist of it right now, you'll realize that in Parliament, I think we have, if not 7, I can't remember the number, so I'm not gonna be legit on that one. Kama kuna mtu kwa comment section atatuambia how many independent people we have in National Assembly. Independence. That tells you what is people who are thinking a whole different kind of way. Makobura, to answer your question, is yes. Mine, I'm going to say yes. The next election that are coming, either 2026, because we still have that case of is it the second, whatever, of the 5th year, or 27, whatever it's going to be. I'm telling you, all of them are going home. All of the career politicians are going home. Wenye watabaki itakuwa top player. Wenye watabaki itakuwa tule tu mtu ameponea. They are going. Kila mtu. And yes, it's doable. Because the thing is that everybody is on the edge, including you, my panelists, our panelists here, and even our kila mtu ako on the edge. They are just tired. We are not going to be listening to the same thing. And then there's another perspective of it. Most of the people that are actually in Kenya and really interested in this politics and whatever you want to call it, governorship, these are people who have gone out there and have seen the world, and most of them are coming back, which is something I like to call the tomboya phobia. When you and GF Kennedy decided to take people out there and then bring them back so that they understand. When you look at the parliament and the people in power, they're mostly people who have actually seen more and know more logistics out there. So the logistics, the logistical part of it, the geopolitical part of it is just working against the oligarchs of politics that we know in Kenya. So yes, and this is going to come sooner than what Joseph is saying. Is going to come sooner than 32. This is coming. 2027 will be if we get to 2027, if it's not 2026, this next elections is going to be a wipeout more than 2022 did. Was it 2002? When it was yote yawezekana bila Moi, the way they were wiped out, this one is gonna wipe out and is gonna hit hard. Something that, someone that you thought would not be taken out will be taken out. And it's the reason you're finding people going into a meeting and saying, yeah, and then wakitoka wanasema one term. It's so conflicted. And so I hope I've answered your question. Yes, it's going down. Back to you on the studio.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph and Mato, for giving us your take. I can see our good friend Eric Ayaga is also here, and he's saying, my friends, arresting Gashagua from Ruto allies is a trap for Gashagua. Gashagua is being fattened for slaughter. Government will even break protocol to allow his supporters to welcome him. He goes ahead and says that the government through the NIS will organize Gashagua welcoming. They want to make him feel it must be on the ballot. We should read Matiba Kenneth's story. And once Gashagua will be on the ballot, Ruto will win as early as 6 a.m. Okay, thank you so much. That's your take, Mr.
Can I, because that's my friend also, Ayaga.
Maybe you can revert to that and Joseph Pierre revert, and then your last remarks.
Okay, yeah, Ayaga is a very smart person, but I know where he's going with this. Let me tell you, so that we can get our last remarks. But let me tell you, the worst thing that this government can ever do is to try and arrest Gachagua when he's coming back. Not that is kuna mtu who cares about him, but the narrative will have landed home. They better just let him go. Aende nyumbani, waachane naye. I'm not trying to advise Ruto. Waachane naye, ingie na aende. Let me tell you, if they arrest him at his due because he said his truths in the US or whatever, that will take Gashagua to a whole different level. But I'm not even worried about Gashagua going to a whole different level, because we know Gashagua is not going to be a president. But the narrative itself, the one-term narrative, that is hapo ndo watakuwa wamejimalizia if they can just kumshika tu, because what he said the truth. Kujaribu hiyo Ruto done, kwisha hiyo. Sasa maandamano inarudi, and I think I was speaking to in a different forum, and some people were saying they're waiting to rudi maandamano. The people will just go to maandamano for no good reason, just because Gachagua ameshikwa. Not that they care about him, but the narrative itself. Thank you. I'm going to wait for my closing remark.
Joseph, what is your take on Eric Ayaga's comments?
Well, what I know is I don't think they are going to arrest Gachagua. So that is what I know. Because in any case, Eric Ayaga can be saying something totally true, or Mato can be saying something totally true. So we are going to see as time goes by. But I think them arresting Gachagua, that one will not happen. That one I know it will not happen, because also they look at, when it's going to come atakuja na people, and it's going to be disruptive. So I think also they are going to think about not arresting him. So that one we are going to just wait and see, brother Mark. That one is something we wait and see, because it's not far. He's about to finish his 2 months visit. It's not something that is very far. We are going to see what will happen.
Okay, thank you so much. And good friend.
I know you are a moderator, but tell us what you think about it too, because
I was actually added there. I was giving my take before I give you time to give your final remarks. Allow me to add this as well. The ballot paper with Gashagua, Ruto, Matiang'i, Kalonzo, I bet we will have a second round. And Eric is going ahead and saying nobody will arrest Gashagua. They are just making him believe he's above the law and nothing can stop him from running. My take on the issue of Gashagua is I can say that, just like I had said earlier, Gashagua's, I think, the political algorithm really has worked well for Rigathi Gachagua, and he's currently the topic of the day, mostly in the politics of the Republic of Kenya, whenever you're speaking about the national politics, you have to mention his name as well. And, you know, whenever again you hear any government official or any politician speaking something against Rigathi Gachagua, the only thing you will wait is to hear for the revert that is coming from Rigathi Gachagua. So I think he has played a politics that has somehow made him the topic of the day. And of course, that has made him become popular. And that's a fact. We have to accept the fact that Gashagua is currently a popular politician. He's in the caliber of Raila Amolo Odinga. He's in the caliber of William Ruto. And, you know, if you remember the kind of politics that Raila has always played, as much as he's been in the opposition side, he has always had some fanatical supporters. And that is why you've never heard of Raila being arrested. Remember, he went and saw himself and nothing happened. That was a clear indication that he's a threat. He's a government like on his own, in quotes. I think Gachagua is headed in the same direction. And if the government needs to tame him, they need to use a proper way. If they do it within, in the public, then they are not going to succeed, because I'm sure that his supporters will come out to defend him. His supporters will come out to stand with him, and they will not allow but cause a lot of chaos if he is to be arrested. I think that is my take. Now I'll give each one of you to give your final remarks before we call it a day. I'll start with you. Who was the last?
Can I go first? Because I need to tender to something here.
Okay.
Thank you. First of all, let me just say thank you for giving me this opportunity and this platform. Asante Sana Joseph, it's always good to really ponder our minds, you know, just to kind of think about these things and talk about them, how we think about it. Now, my closing. Yes.
I was actually forgetting one thing. Kabla tu, before you give your final remarks, is this issue of consistent accidents that we are seeing in Kenya. I don't know if maybe you can just give your one or two take on that, because it's a concern to the people of Kenya. And actually learned that a friend of mine.
On what?
On the issue of consistent accidents that we are having. Within 72 hours, we lost almost 60, 70 people. And, you know, it's something that is threatening the lives of the people of Kenya. And this evening, I actually learned that the Kisumu accident, which happened, a good friend of mine lost both his mom and dad. Something that is very painful, something that they never really expected. And what we can do is to pray for the souls of those who died, and, you know, na kuwaombea familia ambao wamebaki.
First of all, thank you for bringing that. I've also been, you know, looking at the stats and the statistics on that. My number one is condolences to everybody. Whenever a life is lost, regardless whether I'm a shoot to mguu, I'm a shoot to kill, or an accident, it also moves to show that something is not working, you know. There's a kabad spot, both of you. There's a kabad spot when you're going to either Kisumu, Kitale, or whatever, just past Nakuru, which is called Gilgil. Somewhere there's a kabad spot past Nakuru, the junction to go to Nini. There's a place there. I just can't remember the name. And how many bodies I've seen over there. I think it's Gigiri. No, not Gigiri. Anyway, imenitoka. But when you're seeing this, even the flight that Mwihoko, the one that dropped the worker, I am not a superstitious person, but at times you start asking yourself questions. Not being a superstitious person, I blame it on bad infrastructure. When it comes to aircrafts, I also blame it to also bad infrastructure kind of way, because first of all, we buy, when it comes to aircrafts, is that we take the rejects. There's a time, if I remember well, 7 years ago, all the media was somewhere in Mombasa showing these aircrafts, helicopters that had been bought, and this was Uhuru's time, that had been bought from other countries. Now, what we know, a lot of people know now, is that they were I mean, what had been used and everything, and is just decommissioned aircrafts. And for the since I mean, for our existence, we've always bought things that have been decommissioned. If you guys could remember, the computers, they were just, I mean, they don't know where to dump them, but they brought them to Africa. At this point, let's talk about Kenya. But then you would go to now the computer labs, but you're using the decommissioned computers that they don't know where to take them. But what you don't even realize is that the cobalt that is being used is actually coming from Africa. Same as Starbucks, McD. But let me talk about Starbucks. The coffee, they take the barrels, the seeds, I mean, the burial, and they go and, process them, and then they bring them back, and it's the most expensive coffee than the one that is coming from the farm. My point is, it's all due to bad infrastructure and over-reliance of other countries. We don't even have our laws. Our laws are actually based on other countries. We've never made our own law. And that is exactly the problem that is happening. But for the continuing, the reason I seem to superstitious is because okay, let me just say it, even though I know we're in a international TV. Kuna mtu alikuwa akiniambia watu people are being I don't want to say that word, wanakulwa kafara or something of the sort. But I'm not that kind of a person. Anyways, I hope nimekujibu my brother, but let me do my closing remark. Niseme tu, Africa and Kenya in general, we are awoke. People are woken up. Wenye wamelala, wenye wanadhani bado tu ni the old ways of doing things, their time has run out. Kenya, Africa, East Africa, where we are placed, things are changing. And it's gonna be known very soon. No one has gone anywhere. Hata kama hatuko kwa streets. No one has gone anywhere. People are working in different ways. And people are gonna be answerable. Woe unto you if you killed anyone. Woe unto you if you used your uniform or your position to give bad orders. Woe unto you, because like someone I know, one of my friends or one of someone I follow very well said, we shall come for you. And Kenya is no longer going to be, it's not a third world country and is not going to be stuck there. just for some people to benefit. Hizo mali zenyu tutakujia zote. We'll get you. Nah, we're not going to be playing tribal politics. We're not going to be playing kuoneana. This is coming and it's coming hard. So kama ulikuwa uko ndani, anza kutoroka. Thank you. Back to you, sir.
Yes, Joseph, give us your take on that and then your final remarks.
Yes, I just want to give my take about that and say accidents they happen because of a reason. And I've seen some people in the comment section, they're giving some of the reasons. Kenyans, they are very reckless. You see them driving even when they are drunk. You see them not wearing even seatbelts. You see even drivers who are already tired, but they still want to go for those rounds of trips. And for the aircraft, you can find even we are waiting for the information from they took the what do we call it, the black box, or what do we call it? They took it for, so we are going to know what happened.
Joseph, quick question on that. If you have any information, can you tell me? I know they got one black box, they didn't get the other one, and they were saying that they're still looking for it. Did they find the other one?
I have not known about that news. Maybe I'm going to check it today, because I know the one that the police were hiding, and that one has been. I don't know even why they are hiding the black box. That one should be. I think we are going to know about this issue, but sometimes they also even hide it. But most probably you can find that it was due to mechanical issues. Most probably the aircrafts, most of them in Kenya, the falling, some of them you find it is mechanical issues, but most of them they want to blame it on the pilots and what have you. But for the accidents, I can really tell you that some of them happen because of reckless driving. That one I'm sure. It's some, and also we can also add on bad roads, Brother Mark and Brother Matu. We can add bad roads. We have very bad roads which are not even marked properly. Like you see the Tharaka-Nithi bridge. It's a bridge that was supposed to be finished long time ago. So it's still a black spot. And these roads where you see black spots, you don't see anything coming out of them. They are being repaired or what. So I think also infrastructure is also a hindrance problem also, as we talk about reckless driving. But we want to say pole to the families who have been taken by their loved ones, and say pole. I hope God is going to comfort them at this hard time. But najuaga hata August is not a very good month. August is a month inakuwaga na kisirani mingi sana. So we are hoping that this, as we go on, we tutakuwa hata hizi stories about death and whatever. So thank you, and I want to thank all the viewers who have come today. And I have seen some posts there. I wanted to inform you guys that the High Commission of Britain has been shifted. So I think something big is coming. If you see them, they are aligning themselves like that. I think something big is coming. If you see them, US and UK, they work hand in hand. So maybe you'll hear some interesting news coming from what I think is what we were talking before, the US. I think the investigations you were saying.
Okay, thank you, Joseph, for giving us your take. I really appreciate. I can see our good friend Mary is also here. Mary, we've talked about quite a number of things. And maybe I'll just give you time. You can generalize and give us your general take on the matters that we've spoken about. And then we'll call it a day.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I say hi to everybody. Nimeona M2 na huyo mwingine. I can't see the names actually. There are no names, but I say hi to you guys. Nasalimia watu wa comment section.
Leo tuko M, Mama Mary. Sisi zote hapa ni M.
Nimeona zote ni M.
We have Joseph, we have Mato, our usual panelist. Niko sure unawajua.
Yeah, I say hi to them and good to hear them. and also comment section. Asanteni sana, mnaandika mambo ambayo kweli ni ya kuelimisha watu wa Kenya pahali popote mko. Muwe salama, mjiangalie, be vigilant of what is going on. And I will just tackle a few things just to say that in a government, for me, I don't think it's a given time that somebody like president ama watu wake kusimama kuanza kusema ati fulani atakuwa arrested. You don't start payukering, talking things. I guess a good government that really stands on its grounds really keeps quiet and let the department that is supposed to do that work iwe ndio inatekeleza mambo yake polepole. Hii mambo ya kuongea hapo, they are still politicking with the issue, which is not a joke. This is a very serious thing, I'm telling you. It's very serious. But they tend to take things like they have been dealing with the Kenyans, the way they have killed Kenyans and start saying that they are going to pay them. Hakuna mzazi alizaa mtoto auze ama uawe ndio apate pesa. Huyo si mnyama, si ng'ombe ama mbuzi. Please respect people's life. Mimi nikisikia hiyo mambo ya kusema hapo ati tutalipa, we will be compensated, I feel sick. Forget it. Go and stay with the money. Hizo pesa zitanisaidia nini? Even if I take that money, I will still use it and it will be gone. But if my child was still there with me, I'll be seeing him or her doing something for himself or herself. You cannot compare money with a child. That is evil thoughts. Na hiyo mambo waache, hata waache kusema watacompensate. I don't care whether you compensate or not. That is not my interest as a parent. Mtoto wangu wacha aishi. Haiwezekani ati mtoto wangu aniambie mama, sina kitu fulani ama nisaidie na kitu fulani, ninachukua bunduki na muua. Ni wa nini basi nilikuwa nazaa? First of all, we have to have respect of life. Na hiyo mambo iwe kwa akili za watu, especially to those people who have done the killings. Ujue mtu ni mtu. Ebu imagine right now, they cannot bring those lives back. And now they are struggling in their mind to convince the people who have lost their people to stay kabut or to stay comfortable. We are going to give you money. Wait a minute. I am just asking, Ruto, go and shoot your child right now and kill and compensate yourself. And you tell me whether you'll be the same anymore. Those are things that we should not be hearing from these leaders. They should not tell us about compensation. If you killed with a reason that really people can understand, that's okay. Let it go. But because they are guilty of killing innocent people, that is why they are doing that. That is why they are trying to twist our mind, to compensate with money. What is money? Huyo mtoto unajua ni pesa ngapi angepata kwa wakati wake kama angekubaliwa awe hai. Those are things that we should not put aside, and Ruto and his company should not come to tell us about compensation. If you want to compensate, hata usiongee, enda uwaweke hapo kwa mlango na uende. You know them. You know the people who lost their children. Don't even be telling us. Kwa sababu huyo mzazi kusema kweli hata akisikia hivyo yeye bado ni kulia analia. I feel pain. Just exactly like the parent who lost her child or his child. Kwa hivyo wacheni huo upuzi. The other thing I want to say, kama mnataka kushika Rigathi as a government, be quiet. Do your thing. Wait for Gashagua. You have the country. Go and arrest him. As simple as that. Telling us how you are going to arrest him. Sisi tufanye nini? Tuambie msimu arrest. Continue with your job if you are doing it right. Gachagua has told us so many things, and it has come to pass. We have seen all what he is talking is really meaning something that we really understand. And we have seen it. It's only that we don't have time. Not time, actually. We cannot be eligible, all of us, to be on the TV or on a podium to announce this. Lakini hatuna mambo, tunaona, tunasikia. Lakini hatuna hiyo kuwa ati uko kwa jukwaa ndio waeleze watu. So for you guys to say that that is a big joke, vile ameenda kuongea huko, it is what you have done. The moment Gachagua was in Kenya, he talked about RSF. Did you arrest him? Did you ask any question? Why do you feel bad? And furthermore, when you are talking about all these and saying shoot and all these RSF coming to display themselves, were you in a cube or in a hole that people didn't see? All these things we saw and we heard with our own ears. So there's nothing you are going to tell us that Gachagua is doing wrong. Gachagua is looking for how Kenyans can understand what really is going on and what is eating Kenya. Because Kenya right now is bleeding, is facing a lot of problems. Just because of one person who has no initiative of bringing Kenya back to normal. Mambo ile yote amefanya ni mambo mabaya. With no scintilla evidence. Nothing. Ni vile tu ameona ni vizuri nifupishe maisha ya watu wengine. Niwamalize. And even if today they start another protest, the same guy will stand up and go and kill them. He has not given up killing. And if he is asked, why are you killing? He has no answer. Can you imagine such a person leading a country? Yani anakuwa na akiulizwa umemuua kwa nini? He has no answer. So that means he's used to killing. And that is the problem we have in Kenya. That's not a leader who can live with Kenyans. Because Kenyans, I believe, they are hard workers. They want a freedom to do their own stuff and do their businesses. But they have been hindered by this kind of behavior. Na kwa hivyo mimi najiuliza swali moja tu. Serikali ambayo iko na nguvu vile wanajifanya kwa watu ambao hawana hizi vitu, hawana bunduki, au watoto hawana bunduki, hawana vifaa za kupigana, wako na nguvu sana na hao. Lakini mambo ikibadilika, wanaanza kujikwaza na vitu zingine ambazo hazina maana. Hata unamwangalia unashindwa, are these our leaders? The way they are talking, the way they are behaving about some very serious issues. Sasa Murkomen kusimama hapo anasema ati Gachagua ana pose picha na security za airport. Surely, we have seen the security that has been given to Gachagua. Serious police, serious security, intelligence. Na Murkomen has the gut of standing there to tell Kenyans of Gachagua posing a picture with the airport police. Murkomen, I think you are so ridiculous and very primitive. That is not even what you would have said. You would have kept quiet because it really put you down and reduced your status completely. It has put you to see that those leaders who are leading Kenyans, in fact, they have no guts. Hawana kuelewa. They're not smart. It's not the people that they can stand there and you wait to hear important things coming out of their mouth. Hawa ni watu tu wanakaa kama watu wa barabara tu chokora, honestly. Because I cannot imagine leadership that they talk like they are talking to gibbons. We are not gibbons. We are not fools. Kenyans are smart and they know what they want. I've been repeating this again and again. It's only that we cannot sit on that chair, all of us. One person has to. Lakini udanganyifu na mambo yote mnaongea wacheni. Umesema ati Gachagua atapelekwa mental. First of all, who should go for mental checkup? Kenyans, just ask yourself, who should go for mental checkup? Ni yule mtu anaua ama ni yule mtu anaongea ukweli? Ni yule mtu anaongea uongo kila siku ama ni yule mtu anaongea mambo ya open up minds of Kenyans? Unarudi unasema ati those are jokes. Yeye ni comedian. Seriously, Gachagua is a comedian this time? You are the comedian. Because what you are covering is what will come to be revealed tomorrow. Lakini hujielewi, Mr. Murkomen, hujielewi. So Kenyans, we can see the difference between what Gachagua is telling us and what the leaders of the country right now are saying. And then you see to come to a conclusion that we don't have leaders. Ni mikebe ya watu ambao wataweza ongea uondoke hapo ukitapika. Because I can't believe that is all what Murkomen was standing there to tell us. And you can see people behind him smiling like they are in the same mind. Is that the government that really we are proud of? Nothing. Cannot be proud of people who just talk just to talk. At least when you stand somewhere, people can listen and go with even one word. That is very important. But nothing comes out of that guy that is good. Insult, mockery. How comes? You are a CS. You can be diplomatic. Tell us what your sense of the country. But don't tell us of what is happening to somebody who you are calling a comedian. You are also even making it look more comedian on you. So Kenyans, it's time to wake up. Understand that we don't have a government. It's not a government that can stand in front of other governments and represent us. They can only represent themselves because their mind-driven is only what they are seeing there. It's not what they think a country can move forward. They are timid. Mambo ile wanafanya ni mambo ya kuharibu akili za watu, because I cannot imagine Gachagua has gone to America to talk like a madman the way Murkomen is making it. This is a serious thing and they know that. But because of Kenyans because Kenyans are being controlled with the speeches, with the talks, with the threats, that is how they want to stand there and start telling Kenyans, this is what it is. Because they believe many Kenyans have not gone to America, and so they will believe these Murkomen saying what he is saying. He is lying again because Gachagua has security enough in America. That I confirm to you. Wacha hiyo mambo ya kuharibu the face of Gachagua. I did not support Gachagua there before. I did not agree with him, but I now listen what he does. He always say, because it is making sense to everybody. So Kenyans, make your decision, but we have to come together and make our case. Our goal is to have a new government that really matters, that really takes care of the inhabitants, because you will never move out of Kenya and go and live elsewhere. That is where you belong and where you can be comfortable and happy. And so Kenyans, let's be together and keep our country safe. As matters that are going on, let it take its right course, and that no more hurting in Kenya. No more dictatorship in Kenya anymore. And we are going to cut it short so that Kenyans can liberate, have a great country again. We don't have a president. We don't have leadership in Kenya. Our leadership is coming. That people will make sure that they have it in good way and fair and free election. Thank you, Kenyans. Keep each other warm, be safe, keep your cultural, keep your seeds, keep
Nyakairu,
everything. Yes.
maybe before you finish, we've seen consistent accidents in the Republic of Kenya, both where within 78 hours or 72, we've lost almost 70 people. Aircraft, consistent road accidents. What is your take on that as you give your final remarks?
First of all, I may not be in good analysis on that issue, because really I did not study it well. The time when I saw it, actually I was at work, and I didn't go deep into that. And as many were saying about those evil spirits, and many saying that August is a bad month, I kind of somehow said something like, in Kenya, we have neglected the important issues, like you'd see hata siku zile za hapo mbele kulikuwa matatu zilikuwa zinabeba watu zaidi ya the number that is required. Saa ingine hata miguu yake imeisha, lakini ukipea polisi hongo unapita unaenda kuwaua hao. I think things have been neglected so much, and services of these machines have been neglected, and things have not been working well, because when the country is going poor, as far as the economy is concerned, you tend to see things collapsing, and you tend to use what you have, whether it's bad or good, because there are some kind of negligence that has been going on in Kenya, especially spending money to service something. It seems to be a hard thing to stomach. Yani releasing those money to go to service something, it's a hard thing. You're trying to save something, but you are saving to finish. Hiyo tu ndio ninaweza sema. Service has been neglected. Mambo imekuwa magumu, kila mtu sasa anataka pahali yake, kila mtu anataka kuuma pahali anaweza, and so there are no serious issues taken carefully. They are not inspectors also, they are not serious. Everything has become hard because there is no cash flow, I would say that. When money is being released, it has to be completely restrained. What is it for? It might not happen. And things have become so hard. And so I would just conclude that there could be failures of those machines because of service, because of negligence of the government, whatever, because government is the one which seems to be controlling the money in Kenya. Let me give you an example of when they say that they were giving these motorbikes to boda boda. When you flood a country with a certain item, and this item is with everybody, and it is an instrument to do, let's say, business, how do you expect mama mboga ama bodaboda wajae kwa inchi? Watabeba nani? Who will carry who? There is a time whereby things have to be regulated. Na unaharibu ukiangalia na macho yako hivi. Unaharibu kwa sababu hauna haja, because you have no knowledge. Either you have no knowledge or you have no interest for those people to prosper. Somebody who was making 800 now will be making 200, right? Because customers wamepata hata wao pikipiki ya kujibeba. You see, in Kenya watu wanalima mchele. At the time of harvesting, mchele ingine inakuja na container huko thousands of tons. Why is it not regulated? Why should we not have our own first? If it is finished and we are in, in those time of, I think, hatuna chakula ya kutosha, you bring it. But you are bringing at the time when the harvest is there. What are you trying to do? That means ule mtu wa mchele alikuwa nauza kilo shilingi 10, sasa atauza shilingi 2. Na alilima na nini? Alitumia pesa kulima, alitumia mambo mingi, hata kuharvest alitumia pesa. You are killing your own people with imported things. And now wakulima wanakuwa kama wanakaa kando, wanaacha kulima. So you depend on import rather than what has been cultivated in the country. So in all things, hii mambo imekuwa controlled from above. As they said, it's an order from above. Ndio watu warekebishe tabia, waishi kwa laini. Hamtakaa na freedom ile mnafikiria, mtakaa kwa laini. Mpangike. Ndio huyo mtu aweze kuwaongoza. Kwa sababu hataki kuongoza watu ambao wamejaa everywhere. Anataka kuongoza mkiwa kwa laini. That's the biggest problem. Kwa hivyo mimi naweza sema service has been neglected. Barabara ndizo hizo, na tunaambiwa kila siku barabara, kila siku barabara, kila siku barabara. If anybody from a foreign country can collect all those informations of barabara, he would wish or she would wish to go to that country where there is a good road that he can ride comfortably and safe. Those are the terms that has been used and they are lost. And things are not going to work for Kenya with this kind of leadership. We are not. They are not going to work. We need a change, a great change, because it will mean that every Kenyan, every person in Kenya, mkubwa na mdogo, tutajenga hiyo nchi yetu sisi wote. We are not going to depend on the president, whoever we will get. We will give him hand, ndio tujenge nchi yetu. And this time round, hakuna mchezo. It means that we have to sit, think, analyze, and make sure that we make a good decision how to bring our country back. It has really gone down. It has been nicknamed terrorism by its own, those leaders. wameita nchi yetu ni a terrorist. And so there are so many things that we are going to do. There are people outside who have to make sure that they denounce the name that Kenya has been given by this regime. And others in the country start building one block by one. And we will make it. Our country is great. I love my country, my motherland. I feel sometimes shocked when I think that is where we belong and we wanted to go back and enjoy the mukimo that is made by our own natives. But now, things really have changed to the worse. So for me, I pray for my country, which I love, and I always seek my pledge that I'll fight for my country when I can and every time. Thank you, everybody. Asanteni sana.
Okay, thank you so much, good friend, for giving us your take. To our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching us for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us. Na tutasema ni asante. Allow me to say a big thank you to Joseph, to Mato, to Mary, to Benson, to Miguda for finding time to join the panel and for giving us your view. We really appreciate. May God bless you. On the viewership side, allow me to acknowledge and to say a big thank you to our good friend Gypsy Corner, Laban, Eric, among others. Everyone who commented, everyone who gave us their comment, we really appreciate. And Gypsy Corner, you're asked of something. I'm going to look into it and we'll get back to you. We really appreciate you coming and giving us your take. We don't take it for granted. For everyone who watched and maybe you didn't comment, we appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. I now want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much. And may God bless you. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.